guys, and welcome. We're back, baby, with yet another live stream, and today it is going to be a Domination Showdown in a 4-man invitational tournament. Should be a bucket ton of fun. Up first, we have the mighty Dragonborn taking on World Beater. World Beater actually did win our last tournament here on the channel, so he's looking to continue his reputation of being the champion. And in the second semi-final, we will have Ninja Pingving taking on Logic, the YouTube sensation himself, in another best of 3. It's going to be 2 best of 3 semi-finals and a best of 3 final. It is Domination mode today, and the map shall be Battle of Itza, Mountain of Morn, and Death Pass. That's for both of these semi-finals. And then we have the glorious Galleon's Cove, Crossing of the Sea of Claws, and Arnheim as the maps for the final. Should be some good fun. What's up, what's up? What's up, dudes? It says from Oz. Hope you guys are good today. The mighty Captain Morgan is blessing us as well. Hopefully your work meeting wasn't too stressful, buddy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this for sure. So let's quickly double check what their picks and bans were. It looks like Dragonborn picked Ogres and banned Tzeentch. World Beater is going to be coming in with Slaanesh. So, looking forward to this matchup quite a bit. Slaanesh, very hard-hitting, very mobile, should be able to get to grips with the Ogre Kingdom backline pretty damn quickly. If I'm Dragonborn, I'm honestly going wild here. I'm probably bringing double Giant or double Stonehorn. Giant's a bit more classy. They'd probably go double Giant and a load of this infantry bomb rush. Maybe 1 or 2 units of the Man-Eater Ogre pistols, particularly the Regiment of Renown. But yeah, I think I actually have a video coming out today of this exact matchup with Dragonborn's clanmate, the mighty Papa Palpatine, kind of showing how it's done with the Ogre Kingdom. So we'll have to see how Dragonborn does take on the challenge. I think going mass range here would be a giant mistake. Trying to just out-punch Slaanesh is probably the way to go. But World Beater's got some really good micromanagement, so it's certainly going to be tough to deal with that huge amount of cavalry for sure. But I'm excited, and this was yet another invitational. We will be doing some big, more open tournaments in the next coming weeks, which I'm pretty excited about. But it's always good to get back and just get in some juicy tournament action. I haven't hosted a Domination tournament in quite some time. The last one was land battles, but Domination, it's so much fun to cast, man. There's so much going on in one go. There's never kind of a bit of a dull moment. Battle of Itza, very standard map. You guys would certainly recognize this from being a quest battle map way back in the day in Warhammer 2, and it was one of my favorite maps in multiplayer back then. I thought the map looks absolutely fantastic, and I thought it was relatively competitive. Some people obviously disagreed, but now that we're seeing it in Domination, I'm a very happy ducky indeed, and it seems to be one of the most popular maps, I guess because it is a bit more traditional in its approach, being quite flat and open. But there is a raised stage on one side. There's also trees, so there's plenty of room for, you know, a little bit pesky, sneaky strategies and so on. But yeah, should be good fun. Should be good fun indeed. Let's do a little poll as well. Who do you think's going to win here? So we have World Beater and Dragonborn. Let's quickly set that up. Who will win? Who will win? Let's do it as the factions, actually. Do you think the Ogres will be victorious, or do you think the sexy forces of Slaanesh will reign supreme? Oh, let's pop that up there now. Awesome. Hopefully you guys can hear me and see me and stuff okay. The stream was a little bit weird setting up for some reason, but I think it seems like it's sorted itself out. At least on my end it looks all good. So let me know if it's not so good on your side, of course. And yeah, who will win, Ogres or Slaanesh? It's an interesting matchup, I think. Ogres can tend to struggle with real hard-hitting, fast, mobile armies, but it does take a bucket ton of micromanagement, and if Dragonborn doesn't fall for that traditional trap of over-investing in range, thinking I'm going to shoot Slaanesh off the battlefield because they're quite brittle, I think he should be able to do fine. Either way, it should be a good fun contest. I'm also excited, actually, to see Ninja versus Logic in the second semi-final. Last time Logic was on the channel in a tournament, he actually managed to win. I think it was against Darv in the finals, like a real crazy Domination tournament way back when the game first came out. So it's going to be cool to see him back in action. Of course, Ninja as well has been a long-time supporter of the channel. It's always good to have him, you know, around, fighting. Of course, he won't be able to play his favourite High Elves, but soon immortal empires shall emerge and we can revel in the glory of the Lizardmen once more. See what you guys are voting for. Looks like very 50-50 on the voting. Interesting. Interesting. What's up, Magnus? Don't know who will win. They are both new clanmates. Yeah, Magnus, it's going to be a good fight. These are probably the 2 newest additions to DBD, I think. It's good to see them, you know, flashing at each other. Going to prove their worth to the mighty Duck Legions. Believe it is Slaanesh favoured? Yeah, for sure, I think so. Particularly on Domination, most likely. That added speed really does help Slaanesh out quite a bit, whereas in land battles, I find Slaanesh to be a bit kind of damp towel. They just don't have any sticking power whatsoever. Very interesting Slaanesh build coming in as well here. Looks like we're going to have a saturation of spears and spawn to try and take down the enemy. And it looks like Dragonborn is indeed going with that double giant play, and I actually think double giant is pretty good in this matchup. As long as you've got enough to clear out to the enemy spearmen, they'll do absolutely great, particularly with troll guts, healing them up, keeping them in the fight. They can be a nuisance. And you got two of them. Pop one on objective 1, one on objective 2, and laugh at your Slaanesh opponent trying to drag himself back to glory. But here we go. I'm very excited to dive into this, actually. I haven't hosted a tournament in about a week. Maybe it was the last one. Maybe it was a week and a bit ago. I was hoping going to be doing this tournament, I think, last week. But something came up. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if we couldn't get the players we wanted for it, or maybe there was another bigger tournament on the day. But we are going to be looking to try and do weekly tournaments from now on, which should be fun. Should be fun to get back into the swing of things, just in time to kind of build up to Immortal Empires. I don't know which faction you guys are most excited about coming into the game. I'm definitely still the most excited for my Dino boys, of course. There's a few factions which I think are going to be a little bit abusive. Vampire Coast, I can see being disgustingly strong in domination mode. So they've got me a little bit worried. I'm also interested to see how some of the other slower factions fare, like dwarfs and so on. But here we are, the Battle of Itza, one of the most glorious maps, of course, because the old ones shall be watching us from above in their flying pyramids, which I believe in lore, well, if you call it lore in end times, actually turned into spaceships and they kind of all flew away, but we don't speak of such events. So for the forces of Slaanesh and the mighty World Beater attempting to defend his DVD Championship title here, we do have a load of Marauder Spearmen just making up the main battle line. They're backed up by some basic Marauders. We then have a glorious Herald of Slaanesh as well here in the back, looking pretty damn fantastic as always. And, oh, he did teleport away from our prying eyes, unfortunately. We also have a triple spawn of Slaanesh, of course, going to saturate on top of the Spearmen, looking to try to hold the line where possible. It seems a little choppy for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's become too zoomed in. And then we have the Herald of Slaanesh down here, coming in with the Lash, as well as the Acquiescence and the Summon of Fury. Cross board for the other Ogre Kingdoms player, we do have a load of Noblars who are going to be saturated on top by the Ogre Bull dual weapons and basic Ogre Bull. So you're seeing a pretty similar story on both sides here. We have the Ogres on top of the infantry, fighting it out for both sides. It's going to be interesting to see which one comes out on top there. Of course, we have the double Slave Giant. Unfortunately, this one has some really bad boils on his belly, which he's not going to enjoy whatsoever. But yeah, two Giants, not that much in the Slaanesh roster, which can take them on, particularly at once. Even if you have Nakari, he can struggle. And then we have a glorious Slaughtermaster of the Great Moor down here, sandwiched between the Giants. He's coming in with Brain Gobbler, Bone Crusher, as well as Troll Guts, looking to mainly heal up the Giants where possible. I think that'd be the main idea for him. Without further ado, let's get this battle underway when the players are ready. Looks like they're both pretty much raring to go, and this is going to be a fast and furious start for sure. Dino boys, it's going to be so hype in domination. Literally infinite playstyles of them, 100%. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. Slaanesh seem to be the worst faction at the moment. They're not good. I mean, particularly in land battles, I found they struggle because your opponent goes a box build with basically any faction, and you basically lose. So it can be tough, but for sure, Slaanesh are a bit better in domination where they can use their mobility to their real advantage. With cavalry whipping around, you can do a lot of harass on the enemy back line and their deployment zone and so on. The Ogres are going to be marching up. A little bit of slow-mo here. Looks like there's a little bit of lag between these two lads. It does seem to be dissipating though, which is good news. And the Slaughtermaster always runs like he kind of really desperately needs the toilet, but he's going to be pushing forward onto the mighty Tablet of Mystical Prowess here. I'm sure a caption this will give them divinity and let them see through the eyes of the Lizardmen. And it looks like Slaanesh are actually going to be splitting completely, which is a smart play here. So you can see World Beater going to be moving up towards Objective 2 and Objective 3, completely ignoring the middle objective. And that's because he doesn't want to face a double Giants stacked upon each other. That is simply too much to deal with. They force them to split up. If I'm World Beater or if I'm a Dragonborn, I'll keep one Giant in the middle and move one down to Objective 3 most likely. The cavalry was tempting to do an early sneaky little circle charge into the Noblars, but decided against it due to the fact there is so many Ogre Bulls nearby. Noblars are getting quite over-aggressive here, though. There's no need to pitch in too much in case you do receive a nasty charge, although the Ogre Bulls are nearby to help support. It looks like the Ogres are going to be getting nice and aggressive. We also have the Mournfang Cavalry being summoned to the battlefield Definitely would like to see a big push from the Giants. You can even push double Giants down to Objective 3 and then keep the remainder of your forces on Objective 1. Obviously, you need to support them a little bit. But, there's only so much cavalry they can whip around you, and you'll at least be able to trample over the enemy infantry here. Looks like we do a big fight, though. It is going to be Marauders of Slaanesh, as well as the Spawn taking on the Ogre Bulls in what is a bloody and fierce fight here in the centre. Little Noblars are trying their hardest. Look at them go there, jumping around, trying to get into the face of their opponents. And it looks like it's relatively even trade at the moment. There are Noblar trappers in the back. They've unfortunately been jumped by the Herald of Slaanesh. Cavalry is now starting to encircle this push of Ogre Kingdoms and overwhelm it. Middle objective, of course, is definitely going to be in favour of the Ogres. They will have to push out to these side objectives once the battle gets a little bit more hotly contested. The Giant is moving in. It looks like the Herald's actually in a bit of a sticky situation here. Looks like Grace has gone down, but the Giant is going to just do a straight yell into the back of the Herald, making their hair whip back and forth, and they're going to be forced back here. Looks like they were forced to use their Fury Summon in a desperate attempt to escape the situation. They were able to get out of there in time, though. This is a lovely pick, however, by the Slaanesh play. He's cycle charging with the Hellstriders into this big blob, and it looks like he is dominating the battlefield in that element. However, damage value-wise, O Kingdoms are up and ahead. Of course, they did good work to the Herald there, and we're about to get a nasty Bone Crusher come down. That Iron Fist spawned from hell itself to crush down on the enemy and help out the Ogres in this fight. Unfortunately, the Mournfang Cavalry vastly overextend here, and they are up against triple enemy cavalry now. That's, the Mournfang Cavalry, they're pretty elite and badass. Looks like Noblars are on approach, and they are holding just about, but that is a little bit sloppy there, and that has allowed the Seekers as well as the Hellstriders surround this unit and start beating them back. We do have more Ogre Bulls on arrival, as well as a couple of Saber-Tusk packs, which I am quite a big fan of there. Their mobility should help out greatly. Middle objective is going to be claimed by Ogres in a minute. Slaanesh are just very, very much sticking to holding the flanks for now. Spawn as well as Marauders are in a bit more problematic situation than they previously were. The double Giant here, they are starting to be a little bit overwhelmed. Damage value-wise is slightly in favour of Dragonborn and his Ogre Kingdom homies. He may be deliberately giving away the 2-for-1 ticket advantage here, just so he can get some comeback bonus in the late game, but it's a very risky game to play. Noblars are fleeing, trying to save their own skin, as Hell Scorers do move in, but Ogre Bulls should be able to deal with them relatively effectively. The nice mobile core of Slaanesh here in the central pocket, though, who can bounce left and right and really pick apart the enemy. There were Giants still doing a decent job in the middle, but it looks like the Bulls are starting to run a little bit out of steam. Been very impressed here with the Spawn and Spear combo. Works well in land battles, and it seems like it works well in Domination as well. Big Fist comes down, but that's not going to do much damage. Not too many enemy troops there. Ogre Bulls are bomb rushing the lovely mistress herself, the Herald of Slaanesh. She definitely doesn't want to get caught up and surrounded there. And yeah, we've got a lot of resources for Slaanesh on the wings. And because the Ogres haven't really committed to fighting them, they're just fighting the center, they're getting quite a big advantage on the gold damage damage value at the moment, because they're able to use superior numbers to shut down the Slaanesh, despite some lovely cavalry play on the wings. And the Spawn will be going down here to do the double Giant. It looks like trying to almost just push the cavalry up and around the flanks right now. Maybe push over here and jump the Mournfang Cavalry, who have managed to rally. Looks like that's just what they're going to do, trying to escape the trapment, which is their own deployment zone. Particularly on this map, you've got a very narrow deployment zone, and you do have the possibility of being kind of forced and penned in. That's maybe what the Ogre Kingdom play is attempting to do here. Dual weapons do get charged. The Hellstriders will be jumping on top of them, though, ripping and tearing, poking and stabbing, doing some pretty decent damage. Looks like the Ogre Bulls will be starting to retreat. Saber-Tusk packs are starting to whip into enemy back line. We have a rogue unit of Ogre Bulls. Oh, they're chasing the Herald of Slaanesh. They've been kind of coaxed into charging into all these Marauders, which is a lovely little trap there by the Slaanesh player, who's certainly advantageously up on tickets at the moment. Mournfang Cavalry, as well as Saber-Tusk packs, do need to jump in and get involved over here on the Seekers of Slaanesh if they want to save these Ogre Bulls, which looks like they are attempting to do that. The Mournfang Cavalry is charging in viciously. Seekers are going to fall back, though. We may have a similar situation where the Cavalry falls back, isolates the unit of Mournfang Cavalry, and then jumps them all on one. And it looks like they once again are over chasing. So I'd love to see this cavalry just whirl around and jump on top of the Mournfang Cavalry, and that's just what we're going to get, it seems. Saber-Tusks have been summoned as well, and it looks like the Giants are starting to move up towards Objective 2, perhaps seeing it as the easier objective to claim. But yeah, you don't need, I mean, there's a lot of beat-up units here. I'd probably get them off the battlefield and back so they can regen and heal up a little bit. There's a load of forces which could pull back and defend the center if need be. So you can use a lot of these resources to move up and start claiming Objective number 2. So it looks like the Ogre push is still getting really aggressive. They're up about 1,000 gold value right now, which is pretty nice work. Likewise, they are stacking higher resources. The Hellstriders have been forced back, and Ogres are punishing the Marauders right now. And the Hellstriders are attempting to just wiggle their way to freedom. This is quite a big push by the Ogres, and it may pay off or it may leave them exposed. And they're kind of giving up all of the middle ground here, which is very risky. But I understand this. The pressure is starting to mount with a relatively strong lead here for the Slaanesh forces as far as tickets are concerned. But the Ogres as well as Noblars will be moving up to try and overwhelm the enemy infantry here. You can see the Giants are starting to go aiming at those spawn. There's going to be a lot of spears here, but luckily there is the Bone Crusher to come in and start slapping up the enemy relatively effectively. Bam! Oh, that's some pretty decent damage there. And it looks like this objective is starting to fall into the hands of the mighty Ogres. They got a unit of Ogre Balls kind of vibing out in the distance. And this is very scary, though. They've not left much back here to defend Objective 1. I'd like to see the Mornfang Cavalry and Sabertusk either really box up the enemy in their deployment zone or get back and defend, because Noblars aren't going to be able to contest with Exalted Demonettes. Certainly not, particularly with more cavalry flying in. So the Sabertusk need to get back and help hold Objective 1. We do have some Ogre Balls being summoned. Even this unit here could probably rotate round to Objective 1 just to make sure you can secure it, because this fight is going fantastically on this side for the Ogres themselves. The Ogre Balls are doing a decent job here. Sabertusk have been forced back. There's another unit of Ogre Balls who need to be reactivated, could charge into the Hell Scorers and do some decent damage. But Objective 2 is now in favor of the Ogre Kingdoms, but they're losing Objective 1. Better battlefield presence so far by the forces of Slaanesh. They're doing a decent job so far. It looks like the Giant is getting healed up by a Troll Guts, which you like to see. But yeah, losing Objective 1 right now would be a pretty big disaster for the Ogre Kingdom players. He is significantly behind on tickets. Ogre Balls are just about now turning around to engage with the Marauders. And yeah, they're going to get absolutely slapped. Look at this just roving ball of madness the Ogre Kingdom player is really nestling down on. Going for these big alpha strikes and just bouncing all around the battlefield with them, and it's costing Slaanesh so much in damage value right now. But they are making a big push for the middle objective, which I like to see. Noblar Trappers get hit by a Kinky Whip, and now the Marauders are starting to move in. However, Sabertusk packs may use this as an opportunity to apply pressure to Objective 3. Is there more Ogre reinforcements on the way? It looks like we have another Sabertusk pack. And although, I mean, there's not that much more infantry on the battlefield, I guess we have this big roving blob, which, yeah, once again, kind of overextended, which the Ogre Kingdom player has certainly been a little bit in trouble for doing. Getting one or two of these units back here to hold this objective, and the rest really need to push towards Objective 1 as quickly as physically possible, or apply a bit of pressure to these cheeky Slaaneshi spearmen on the far side. Sabertusk pack do jump into the fight. It is very hotly contested in here. It seems like the Demonettes are basically done for and spent, but the Marauders are holding the line firmly. They're capping incredibly slowly, and it looks like the roving horde of infantry for the Ogres is on arrival. Are they going to be quick enough to get to this objective? Because it takes quite a long time to cap them. It's much easier to hold. Objective 3 is currently still being held by this unit of spearmen. There's a few beat up units of the Ogres just kind of out on this left hand side, who are getting kind of hammered, unfortunately, by the spawn of Slaanesh. We have some trappers are desperately pushing into Objective 1, and it looks like the Ogres may actually be able to hold this objective, which would be massive for them. Damage value is very, very even at the moment. Cheeky Lash comes in and just spanking some Sabertusk packs. They do not enjoy that whatsoever, getting some bad PTSD from when they were trained, I'm sure. And the Ogre Balls are beating back the enemy infantry here in the center. The Herald Slaanesh isn't the most healthy boy in the world. Noblar Trappers are launching from range, so they probably want to move on to the objective. Looks like that's just what they're going to be doing here. And Objective 2 is still being held by the Double Giant. Looks like they're about to lose this objective. There's no infantry here to hold it, but then a big chain rout comes in due to the presence of the Giants, of course. At this point, I'd probably bring the stronger Giant down to Objective 1 just to ensure you can hold it. Leave the beat-up one there, some beat-up troops to support, and if you need, you can then rotate once again. The Slaanesh player does have some spearmen on Objective 3. Spawn are finishing off a load of Ogre forces, but both players down to pretty bare bones army-wise here. There's not these kind of large armies that we saw at the start of the battle, and you can tell that's because it's been relatively even so far on the gold damage kind of trade-offs. The fact the Herald Slaanesh is alive is really quite awesome for the Slaanesh player. They still have that magical prowess. Objective 1 is starting to be taken, though, by the Slaanesh forces. They're getting Seekers now ahead of the objective, which I like to see. Aggressive play is the best play, and attack, honestly, can be the best form of defense, particularly in domination mode. And the Trappers are getting torn to shreds. It looks like the Slaughtermaster as well as the Double Giants are pushing down to try and hold Objective 1. However, due to this, they're actually starting to lose Objective 2. No, they're holding it once again now. Looks like the Ogre Bulls are beating back the spawn, but very hotly contested game so far. Ogres are just behind on tickets, and they are about to lose Objective 1. I don't think they can get their Mournfang Cavalry as well as Giants in there in time. Slaanesh player is scrapping and clawing, desperately attempting to get back into this game. I say back into it, they're ahead technically on tickets, but it looked like they were on the ropes for a considerable portion of the battle there. And both these guys are running a really low supply-wise. The Giants are here. They've got long strides, but they're not going to be able to get in on this objective in time. And it looks like Slaanesh are once again going to be in the driving seat. There's not been that much pressure on Objective 3. I don't see that being very likely of these other two objectives being so hotly contested. Spawn are moving over now. Objective 2 is still being held by the Ogre Kingdoms. They are starting to lose it, though. There's a few Noblars around the map who just really need to get kind of reactivated again and hop on top of these objectives, and they would be absolutely fine, at least in holding Objective 1. They also need to do a big push here on to, holding Objective 2. We need to see a big push onto 1 as well, and it looks like that's just what the Ogre player is doing. Crushers are active on the battlefield. They are beasts of flesh, rage, and destruction, and they are forcing back the Slaaneshi player once more. Objective 1 is starting to be held up by the Ogre Kingdoms. I really think these Giants need to be split up, have one babysit Objective 2 and one babysit Objective 3, or Objective 1 and 2, sorry. I think it's just going to be much harder for the Slaanesh player to keep stealing these objectives if those guys are kind of on guard duty a little bit more spread out. Saber-Tusks alongside Noblars get a nice pick here on the Seekers of Slaanesh, which is good to see. The Ogre Bulls are just beating back the Marauders, doing some nice damage, and it looks like Objective 2 is currently Ogre Kingdom favoured. There's a lot of pressure coming in from the Slaanesh boy, who's once again, it looks like he's moving all his forces up to that objective, so the Ogre player needs to move now to kind of react, rather than letting the opponent kind of half cap it and then move in, and that quick reflex is what could win the battle, because it is incredibly close. 3,800 tickets to 3,400 tickets. Lovely stuff indeed. A fantastic game to start the tournament series. Spawn are getting bonked on the head by the Crushers, who are doing some fantastic work here. And it looks like both Giants are once again looking to move up to Objective 2. The Ogres have been pinned in place by Narcissism, not something they're going to enjoy too much whatsoever. Can the Giants make it to this objective in time? The Bulls are on arrival, likewise are Saber-Tusk packs, and the Slaanesh player has so much cavalry on the battlefield, that's not going to lead to the greatest capture weight in the world, of course. We have some more Saber-Tusk packs as well who can maneuver around and just add their capture weight to the objectives where possible. 3,990 tickets to 3,800. This is disgustingly close. Who's your money on? This is crazy so far, and it looks like Objective 2, the Saber-Tusks are on top of it, the Ogre Bulls are on top of it, but it does not matter. It is still being capped by the forces of Slaanesh for now, but it may slow it down in time to allow the Giants to get on top of the objective. Ogres are kind of dominating the battlefield at the moment, but they can't get their mobility where they need it to be. Damage value-wise is very close, pretty much equal right now. The Giant is just about to get in onto the objective. Is that going to be enough? No, he stopped just outside the objective. There was one Marauder holding him back. Hold firm, Larry, in the name of the Slaaneshi hosts. But the Giant does get on the objective. However, it is not enough to stop Slaanesh from capping it. And it looks like the Slaughtermaster may just be seconds too late. Let's see. It is very close. Slaanesh do indeed hold it. The Slaughtermaster could not get in here in time. And the Slaanesh forces once again are reigning supreme. Looks like it didn't matter even with the Slaughtermaster in here. Slaanesh simply too much presence on the battlefield. And now the Giants are in there. Once again, it's going to be swooping back towards the Ogre player, which is so close. This is a crazy game. 4,400 tickets pretty much on both players right now. Noblars will be moving in. I think Slaanesh will have enough to hold. I think they will. I think the Ogres probably should have pushed Objective 3 at some point, jumped on the Marauders, and that would have stopped them in this kind of merry-go bounce between the objectives, as they're like, right, you now have to come to me, and I can definitely put forces on 2 of the objectives. But the Giants kind of sticking out. They are bros, I can't blame them. Like, it's always cool to have Giants fight alongside each other, kind of back-to-back brothers in arms, but I think it may have cost the Ogre player here by not splitting them up. He is going to hold Objective 2. I think it's going to be too late, though. By the time he gets this, I think he'll need a triple cap. I'm sure you guys, you mathematicians there, will be able to predict if I'm wrong or right there. The Herald of Slaanesh is getting beat down pretty bad. We are getting a Troll Guts, and look at the battlefield. It is dominated by the Ogres, but they're not pushing Objective 3 just yet. It looks like more forces are kind of dawdling in the middle. 4,900 tickets to 4,665. This is going to be a victory for Slaanesh, I believe, despite the fact at the end of the battle, Ogres have a better kill ratio as far as gold value and a way bigger army on the map. They simply have not left enough time, I believe, to actually win the day. It's going to be very close stuff. Objective 3, though, Marauders are vibing on top of it, and the Ogres, kind kind of clustered up at the moment on top of Objective 2, trying to hold it. Looks like they're about to lose it again there briefly. But alas, it shall be a victory for the forces of Slaanesh. My god, that was a crazy one. An incredibly close game here to kick off this glorious tournament series. Love the game. I really do think the Slaanesh player had to play out the bag there against the Ogres. Simply getting overwhelmed. The double giants were impossible. I think just better map control, map awareness by World Beater was what sealed the deal, because Dragonborn, I think it was his to lose, honestly. If he had just halfway through the game split up his giants, he would have won. Because it'd be far harder for Slaanesh to actually take the objectives, and not realizing, I need to push objective 3 early, I think was also a problem. But these are kind of nitpicking. It was a fantastic game. Very well played to Dragonborn. I loved his build, and I thought the Double Giants was really, top tier. The World Beater is certainly a tricky customer to take down, and if you slip up at all, he's going to punish you, and I think that's just what he did here. 219 kills for the Slaughtermaster, 1.3k value, 972 and 1.4 on the Giants. The Bros did a pretty decent job stabilizing the objectives. Nothing too crazy, unfortunately, on the other units for the Ogre Kingdoms. It looks like the Crushers, 2,000 value on the Crushers. Love to see it in action. They performed a fantastic job. The other cavalry, unfortunately, overextended a bit and was shut down. And yeah, pretty awesome stuff for sure. How did the Noblar Trappers do? Nothing too crazy. For the Herald of Slaanesh, very impressed that she was able to be alive as long as she did after she took some relatively initial beatings. 1.1k value there. The Spawn, 1.2k value, is a standout. And the Spears did a pretty solid job throughout. Look at that! 1.2k, 1.1k, 1.1k. Again, really lovely value there on the Spearmen. Demonettes, unfortunately, kind of got stomped on. The Cavalry did a solid job all round. 1.2 kind of being the highest value there. So nothing too crazy at all. Yeah, awesome game. Good job, Chaos. What's up, Torox? How's it going, champ? How's it going? Slaanesh has to work so hard to gain advantage. Very lore-friendly. Yeah, they had to put in an absolute shift there. They had to put in an absolute shift. So, score-wise, it is going to be 1-0 to World Beater. This, of course, is a best of 3. And up after this, we'll have Logic versus Ninja, which would be really good fun. Cool. Looks like they were doing blind picks. The other guys, they're just going to sword. I have the blind picks of Ninja and Logic, but they're not quite up just yet. So let's quickly switch the map. And it is going to be the Mountain of Morn. Pretty fun map. Pretty fun map. What's up, Great Book of Grudges? How's it going, champ? Hope you're all good in the hood today. Let's quickly change the score. Looks like you guys thought Ogres was going to win. They just about couldn't quite manage it. Very close game, though. So we'll see what these picks and bans are. Then we'll put up another cheeky poll. Cool. We're going to do a tiny bit of admin. Do that. Send a quick message. Oh, cool. And we're back at it. What a game. Yeah, that was a crazy game, World Beater. Very well played, man. I feel like you had to work really hard to get that victory. Dragonborn was pushing you constantly, which other kingdoms will do. But you managed to, I feel like, manage the game really effectively. Get behind your opponents and kind of just steal objectives. I thought that was some really classy play, particularly using, your mobility to your main advantage there. Awesome. So it looks like it is World Beater on Nurgle, Banin Zinch, up against Dragonborn's Grand Cathay. Interesting stuff. So who will win? Who will win? It is going to be Nurgle versus Cathay. Pretty fun matchup for sure. Let's quickly pop that there. You do 6 Iron Hail Gunner frontline in Domination as your starting army. You can give it a go. You can certainly give it a go. It'd be pretty awesome to see. Yeah, it was World Beater with Nurgle, Banin Zinch, and then Dragonborn counterpicked with Grand Cathay. Mountain of Morn is a map where there's some high ground where you can pop artillery pieces. There's also a lot of shot blockers, so it'll be interesting to see how both these players manage to actually make this work. And I'm pretty excited. Have a little sip of my drink. Ah, that's the good stuff. Inspired by Anticity's ladder stream. Oh, I thought it was because we had a video go out, I think yesterday, with like 6 Iron Hail Gunners in it, or maybe 5 Iron Hail Gunners, and then like 5 crossbowmen as well. It was a really awesome game. Looks like Worldbeat is prepared for this matchup. He already has an army ready and selected. Dragonborn's going to be taking a little bit more time here to try to conjure up something. He's on the back ropes. He's been hit pretty hard in the face by Worldbeat. Worldbeat is ready to swing back aggressively, though, I'm sure, and try to keep the series alive. Did I update the scores? I did. So professional. So good. So good indeed. Yeah, feel free to vote on the poll who you think's going to win. It is a World Beater for Nurgle and a Dragonborn with Grand Cathay. Interesting matchup. Grand Cathay have just a bucket ton of range prowess, which can really wear Nurgle down if Nurgle cannot get into your back line and shut you down. But a lot of people underestimate Nurgle's push-in potential, I feel, with Forsaken and plenty of Air Force. I mean, Furies are just dominant and a very fantastic unit in multiplayer in general. They've got the tools to shut down Grand Cathay, and no one grinds quite like Nurgle does. So if you're on a central objective, you've got Kugarth on there, you've got an Exalted Grey and Clean one, you're not really going anywhere in a hurry. Obviously, there's the risk of being shot and so on. 2 terracottas. 2 terracottas would be fun. You need 1 spear to give them harmony. It's 1 spear unit, like, running up and down the line of the Iron Hail Gunners. Like, you got this, boys. I believe in you. Dragonborn made you work hard. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, Furies are just scary. Or furries, as some people like to call them. They're really just dark elves dressed up. Oh, that we're good to go. So we're ready to rumble. Get ready to rumble. The Mountain of Morn. Pretty gnarly stuff coming in. Oh, this is disgusting. We have double cultists, and then just a load of plague bearers. Interesting. Plague bearers will get their butts shot off. The problem is you can't protect your back line against cultists because they have that summon ability. I really want cultists to receive a relatively hefty nerf at some point. I think they're quite dominant in multiplayer. There's almost no time you don't want to bring them. What's up, Aristodemus? How's it going, chat? Hope you're all good in the hood. Hope your plans of world conquest are going well. Soon we shall all bow to our great overall emperor, the mighty Aristodemus II. Have a little drink while we wait for this to load in. And the loading time for Warhammer 3 is so much longer than Warhammer 2. I know it's a newer game, so it's like going to be hard for my PC to run, but it takes like a way longer. But here we go. The Mountain of Morn. Death, destruction, and Nurglings. Although there are no Nurglings at the moment. I really like this pick, by the way, from Worldbeater. So he's gone for the little lord just on his chair. Now, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this fin. It's like a Paquin or something along those lines. He is disgustingly tanky on this fin. Like, disgustingly tanky. He will not die ever, basically. This is a lot harder to shoot there with the missile pressure of Grand Cathay. He has, of course, the regeneration air of effect. We have Curse of the Leper, which is pretty fun. I don't see that terribly often. Rancid Visitation, Blight Boil, as well as Fleshy Abundance. So a pretty hefty pool of spells there for him to bring to the battlefield. We then have a double Cultist of Nurgle, and there's a bucket ton of Plague Bearers. It is just Plague Bearer City, including, of course, the Festering Stooges. Probably the most powerful of the regiment around to come into the game. Very, very tanky. That regeneration makes them pretty scary for sure. We wouldn't time you out, Aristodemus, man. Just for sending a few pictures of Glorious Ducks. You think a cost increase of 200 to 300 gold for the summon spell would do it? Honestly, I still think it would be picked every single battle. Either nerfing the ability somehow, so like you can't cast it for the first, like, I don't know, 3 minutes of a battle, or it'd still be very good then, I guess. Or give it like a I don't know. There's a load you could do. Like, you could make it, you have to be in combat before it recharges. You could increase the cost in general. I don't want to take the ability away from cultists, because it's the only reason they're ever really brought in the first place, you know. We have Peasant Longsword for Dragonborn on the flanks. We actually have a Fire Rain Rocket, which is pretty damn cool. These things are horrendously I wouldn't say underrated. I actually say kind of underpowered. I don't know if they're that effective. We'll have to see how they do up against the mass infantry of Nurgle here. Load of Jade Warriors. We do have double Longmars in the sky to help protect any ranged utility tools. We have a Dragonblood Lord of Yang Magic. We have Jade Warriors and Spearmen. And it looks like Grand Cathay may be going for a push on both objectives rather than fighting on the middle one. Not a bad idea against Nurgle whatsoever. Not a bad idea. So the Fire Rain Rocket is going to be rolling up into position. Actually, looks like it's just going to be sitting back here for now. And it's going to do some disgusting damage to this Nurgle army for sure. Looks like some flies have been summoned in the form of Furies. They need to be very careful, though. Longmars will finish them off quite easily, if we're being realistic about it. Particularly on the charge, they devastate the Furies. And, yeah, it's going to be tough to get in the back line. But if they can shut down the Fire Rain Rocket, of course, it'll be very handy. You don't want these Plague Bearers bunching up too much in this kind of choke point, and it's getting abused and beaten here pretty badly. So Worldbeer has used up some of his resources. Dragonborn is yet to do that. The Fire Rain Rockets are currently not firing. Can we see their firing arc? Through space, can we see it? No, it doesn't look like it. So I don't know how close they are, but it's got to be relatively close now to being in range. It is, of course, a gigantic artillery piece with 360 range on it. So the Mighty Lord, what does he have? It looks like he has the Fire Breath attack and Jade Shield. Fire Breath going to be very good on the Plague Bearers, actually, like very, very good. Furies are splitting up, one going either direction. Definitely just get the Longmars to go one after the other. We don't have the slow, unfortunately. That is the yin magic for the Dragonblind Lord, which has been rather nice. It looks like the Furies are going to quickly peace out. The Great Longmars are going to be driving them away there. Furies can fall back, of course, and land if need be. And it looks like the Jade Warriors are moving into position. The Fire Rain Rocket is now finally starting to fire, which would be pretty cool. Let's see this rain hellfire down upon those who deserve judgment. Plague Bearers receive a bit of nasty damage. You can see no kills there, unfortunately, but a decent chunk of HP damage has been done. Furies are getting jumped by the Longmars and slowly pulled down. The second unit of Furies is on arrival to help support. So the Fire Rain Rocket was actually going after the Furies, which is a bold attempt to shoot, or maybe they're just very inaccurate, because it looks like the shells are kind of going all over the place here. We do have the Glorious Pent Longsword moving up to Objective 1. We've got a load of Spearmen going up towards Objective 3 as well. The middle might be a bait. I wouldn't even push with these Jade Warriors. I would wait for the objectives to open and then move 2 units around one side and 1 unit to the other side. I think would be a good way to play this. Up in the skies, the Great Longmars as well as the Lord have caught the Furies and are beating them back relatively impressively here. Yeah, Furies going to go down very quickly. Great Longmars are continuing to apply pressure to Furies wherever they physically can. Fire Rain Rocket, in combination with the Fire Breath, has done decent damage now to the Plague Bearers. So we get yet another Fire Breath go down the line on these Plague Bearers. Once again, not getting any kills, but doing decent work. The Festrian Stooges are trying to launch their Festry sludgy grenades up into the Great Longmars. Not going to be the most accurate grenade to air fighting. Tends to be quite hard for the thrower of the grenade. Damage value-wise, Dragonborn is significantly ahead right now, and he's got a lot more of the map covered at the same time. We are going to see some Jade Warrior crossbowmen get summoned in on the action. Looks like the Great Longmar Riders are going to decide to fall back, and these Jade Warriors are currently just vibing on the middle objective. They're not really pushing, and I actually like that play quite a bit. Forces Nurgle to keep forces there, but at the same time, you know, you're not going to be losing in a grind fight you can't physically win. Looks like got a little bit of lag. It does seem to stabilize, though, now and again, so hopefully it will stabilize for good. Great Longmar Riders continue to harass the Furies. They have managed to wiggle their way around to hit the Fire Rain Rocket, but it's used about half its ammo right now, and the Longmars will very quickly incinerate those Furies once they land. Seems like there's going to be a big push from Nurgle going towards Objective 1. This is a good idea. We have Forsaken being summoned as well as the double Plague Bearers. It's going to keep them a little bit safer from the Fire Rain Rocket. And, of course, you need to capture more objectives than just the middle ground here. Plague Bearers have been beat up pretty bad here. Now the Jade Warriors may want to actually move in and overwhelm this position. Double Cultists with their summons, though, is going to be pretty gnarly. So the Furies do manage to fly down into the Fire Rain Rocket. Unfortunately, took a big missile directly to the face here, and the Longmars will rear attack them and just delete them in like half a second. So I don't think that was really worth it. The Fire Rain Rocket is still alive. I like the attempt there by World Beater, but it didn't really pay off, and the Fire Rain Rocket is still going to be absolutely fine. Jade Warriors are moving up. Likewise, we have the Sky Junk on arrival. Sneaky Forsaken have moved around behind the Peasant Longsword, though, coming through the trees. Likewise, we have Plague Toads over here. It's going to be quite a gnarly fight on Objective 1, it would seem. Forsaken probably could push up as well and deal with the crossbowmen. Longmars are once again riding out to meet the enemy, as a big Cathay push does go down onto Objective 2 here. And oh my god, the damage. The Dragonblind Lord took a significant volley from the Festrian Stooges. Objective 3 is well and truly all Grand Cathay at the moment, which is absolutely fine for them. Damage value-wise, they are absurdly ahead so far. There's not even been that much healing from Nurgle, which often kind of makes this a little bit unbalanced. Forsaken are taking a bit of a pounder now from the Sky Junk. Crossbowmen are going to be moving up. The Spearmen are desperately attempting to hold the line. That won't work for long once the Forsaken get into their back line. Likewise, Forsaken are starting to apply pressure to the Crossbowmen. We do a load of cavalry, though, and the forward J Lance has been summoned, as well as yet another unit of Crossbowmen. Maybe we'll be able to move out here, help support and save this unit of Crossbowmen, and then we can see a big push from Grand Cathay onto the objective. In the middle here, it looks like the Great Longmars have been forced back. Curse the Slug was enough to slow them down. Big fight going on in the middle, but the Jade Warriors simply cannot match the ferocity of the cultists and their summons. And it looks like Objective 2 is still well and truly in Nurgle hands. And maybe could see maybe the Crossbow move up and apply a little bit of pressure. It looks like they actually are doing that from the safety behind their spear wall. Lots of damage done here in the middle. Plague Bearers are starting to go down, and there's certainly room here for a push in the mid game from Grand Cathay, but it looks like at the moment they're mainly focused on objective number 1. They're getting a little bit caught up here, though. Forsaken are grinding down at the Crossbowmen, who are moving in to try to engage with the enemy. Fire Rain Rocket is doing some lovely damage here as well. And now we have the Dragonborn Lord on arrival. Would love to see a Fire Breath attack go down the line of these Plague Bearers if he has the spell available. But Nurgle are just swarming the objectives for now. They are crazy behind damage value-wise. 2,000 value for World Beaters Nurgle, nearly 5,000 value for Grand Cathay. But, you know, the objectives do tell a different tale. And Nurgle are known for their damage here, and they're more known for the grind fest. Fire Rain Rocket is nearly out of ammunition. It got up to 89 kills, which is pretty impressive work. Now aiming at the Festering Stooges, who will, of course, have the ability to heal up here. Big push continues to come in from Grand Cathay. Jade Warriors are moving in. They need to probably move around this flank, going through the trees if they want to push the objective quickly. But at the moment, Dragonborn, he's not that far behind ticket-wise. Probably just going for those good trades here, trying to get as much value as possible. Big shots are hitting the Forsaken. Dragonborn Lord is well and truly in the flustercluck of madness. But it looks like the Crossbowmen could well start to be shut down here. Forsaken moving forward, and the Cultist of Nurgle is an absolute pain in the butt. Here's the blistering boil on the underpants of society. He will hop into a back line and just shut it down for 5 years. Particularly against Grand Cathay, we don't really have that many good single entity killers, particularly Foot Lord killers. And yeah, he can just hold back an infinite tide of Cathay forces and stop you bringing in ranged troops. So probably need to see these Jade Warriors honestly ignore him and just push through onto the objective, because he will just waste your time all day long. He's you know, he's not a keeper, ladies. He's one you want to get out as quickly as possible. Sky Junk's doing some nice damage though, and it looks like the Forsaken are starting to be taking significant beatings here. Longmars doing some nice cycle charging into the rear. Great Longmars and Jade Warriors doing some nice damage as well into the middle. What's up, Logic? Hello there. Quack there for Ducky. Quack, quack indeed, man. You're going to be up relatively soon. This is game 2. And it looks like World Beater is taking a relatively dominant early lead ticket-wise once again. Jade Lancers are moving in, and it looks like the center is a little bit open. If these Jade Warriors could ignore the Cultist and move forward, they might be able to claim Objective 2, but there is this now reserve unit of Plague Bearers who can rotate into the central objective now that the Fire Rain Rocket has indeed been dealt with and finished off. I think it actually ran out of ammo, and the mighty Dragonborn probably took it off the battlefield. Plague Bearers vibing, just chilling on the objective. Their homies are fighting hard in the front line here. The Herald of Nurgle's doing a fantastic job. Mixture Halberds and Crossbowmen, though, are beating back the Plague Toads, and there's not that much a difference on the tickets. About 600 so far, and there's been no attempt to push on Objective 3 yet by Nurgle. I do not blame them. They've been fighting hard enough to hold these objectives. Both these players are not stacking supplies. They're just constantly launching as many units towards the objectives as possible, and it's very understandable why. Looks like Jade Lancers are now applying pressure to Objective 2, and they're soon to be joined by a load of Jade Warriors who are going to certainly be able to claim Objective 2, you would think. Nurgle started to run a little bit out of steam, and that is obviously because they've taken significantly more casualties. The Sky Junk's done some lovely work, up to 108 kills. Really quite an inspired pick. The Longmar support, he kind of tested the water early on. Saw his opponent only had a few Furies, and the damage value has been crazy so far from Cathay. We're about to get a big hill go down here. I don't think it's going to be enough to save the Forsaken or the Plague Toads, though, as they start to break before the might of just triple Crossbowmen and unleashing hell upon them from the high ground. It's over, Nurgle. We have the high ground. Objective 2 is still being held by Nurgle for now. It looks like the Jade Warriors are starting to push in. There may be some summons left, though, for the forces of Nurgle. Festering Stooges are still regenerating. Halberds are moving in. Looks like the cavalry is starting to disengage and float round, perhaps to Objective 1, looking to go for an early triple cap. And boy, oh boy, Nurgle starting to suffer hard. We have Plague Toads and Furies on arrival. Should be able to hopefully hold Objective 1, but it's going to be pretty I don't know if there's going to have enough here. There's so many crossbowmen. We even have a second fire rain rocket being summoned, bring pain to the enemy. And Nurgle looking really, really out of steam. They've got no money in the bank. Dragonborn is stacking resources. He's stacking that paper. And it looks like the forces of Grand Cathay may be able to find a way back into this one. Now, lovely play here by Worldbeater. He's moved up the Festering Stooges, and he's keeping the majority of the Cathay infantry off the objective, which is really crucial. Despite that, he's still starting to lose the objective. And it looks like Fire Rain Rocket is going to add its fire in. Oh my god, the friendly fire. Grand Cathay turning into Skaven there briefly. But the central objective is hotly contested. If the cultists could rotate back around into the objective, they should have enough to hold it there. Objective 1, Plague Bearers are trying to pin the enemy in place. We do get a lovely summon coming in. That's going to stop the Halberds as well as cavalry from really assaulting the objective. And look at the Herald. He is loving life here. He is living his best Spartan 300 lifestyle, trying to pin all these Grand Cathay forces back. Fury's doing a fantastic job as well, hunting down crossbowmen in the back. Objective 1 is looking relatively secure for now. The Plague Toads probably want to move over towards Objective 2 to try and help hold this. Looks like the Plague Bearers are doing a fantastic job, actually, and beating back a lot of the forces. I guess the Cultist has got down and dirty, and we have a summon of Plague Bearers, I believe, in the mix, brought in from the Cultists. I think these are a summon unit. It's a little tough to tell there. And it looks like, yeah, Objective 2 is being held by Nurgle. So a big, big wobble for Nurgle, but they survive it at least for now. And what they want to do is hold these objectives long enough that they only need the single cap and start pulling their resources together because they're so sticky and tough to get off an objective. Sky Junk is showing its booty to the enemy. It's going to be absolutely fine despite the pressure from the Furies. The Dragonborn Lord is like, nope, this is my junk, and you can't have it. Nurgle have successfully won this push. I'm actually amazed they were able to win this. I guess the crossbowmen got a little over eager and shut down by Furies. Is not a good look there for the Grand Cathay army. And the Plague Toads are equally able to hold Objective 2, so a really scary push there in the middle game from Grand Cathay. Pushing on two fronts. It looks like it wasn't enough to pay off, though. And it seems like it kind of went for all, right? Went for the triple cap, rather than sending all those Jade Warriors over to Objective 1 to definitely get a single cap. It was a risky play. I like it. I actually kind of approve of the risky play. I don't think it's going to have paid off here, though, as it looks like Nurgle is on its way to victory now, and perhaps a 2-0 for Worldbeater. Skyjunk up to 159 kills, always a glorious day when you see it in action. And now the summons are starting to dissipate, though. There isn't a chance here. It's a slim chance, but there is a chance for Grand Cathay. Jade Lancers can push in and try to overwhelm the enemy. They feel like to see them wrap up and around through the trees and move on to the objective. Alas, there is more Forsaken on the warpath here. And I think at this point, a couple of these Cathay units have to push into the mid, move all your infantry over, and try to make a big push for the triple cap because you need it at this point. But there is more Plague Toads hippity-hoppity in their way around the objectives. And once again, pinned in place. The Jade Lancer can't get anywhere. Look at the bodies. Look what we do in the name of Papa Nurgle. The ground is spewed with bodies. They're going to get infected and pus-ridden, and flies are going to be floating around. It is a Nurgle player's wet dream. Lovely value in play by Dragonborn all day long. He was harassing and making Worldbeater work for this. Look at that value. 1,500 gold value compared to the 9,800 of Worldbeater. But it's Nurgle, baby. It's what we do. We absorb damage and we reign supreme. There's just not enough time, I don't think, for Grand Cathay to get back in this. Halberdiers and Jade Warriors are making a push. I think it's a mistake, though, leaving 3 units here. At this point, you've got to risk it. Leave one peasant longswimmer here, move the other 2 units over, and try to go for a big triple cap. But Worldbeater's had, I think, the main difference, and what's kind of been the determining factor in this tie is better map awareness and better play for objectives. I think Dragonborn's probably done better in the killing aspect of the battle and slaughtering his enemies in both games. I think he ended up with more gold value, wasn't able, unfortunately, to hold the objective. Bread for the Dark Gods, indeed! Indeed. Also casting your awesome game today. Oh god, what game did I send you? Oh, Samarek. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Remember to like and subscribe, people. Indeed. Thank you so much, Logic. Thanks, dude. Bring bread for the Dark God. You're up now, by the way. There's going to be Logic versus Ninja, and I think it's going to be the same matchup. I believe it was Nurgle versus Grand Cathay, but I'll go back and double check. The force of Nurgle here, though, they did pretty damn good. 740 value on the Herald. 1,000 on the Festering Stooges. Worldbeater, I tip my hat to you, man. Those were some tough 2 games. They were very tough 2 games, but he's managed to come out with the 2-0 victory. And I think just really fantastic objective play around. Like, nothing in his army got much value whatsoever. How did the Forsaken do? Yeah, nothing got that much value at all. Which is kind of crazy. How did the Furies do? Yeah, 1.1k there. Nearly 1.2k is nice. 750. But it was really about the objectives. 1.5k by the Dragonborn Lord. 1,000 from the Great Long Mars, 1,000 from the second unit. 2.2k on the Fire Rain rocket is also pretty impressive. Lovely damage value from the range troops. Nearly 2.5k value on the Skyjunk is lovely, but it looks like he was alas overwhelmed. 1,000 and 1,200 on the standout Jade Warrior crossbowman here today. Awesome stuff, lads, though. World beater, well done. That is going to be a 2-0 victory. Massive shout out to Dragonborn as well for competing and having an awesome couple of games. That was very close, both those games. So that was 2-0 to World beater. But up next, we will be having Ninja versus Logic, trying to fight for the right to party in the finals alongside World beater. So let's add our boy Logic, aka... Oh, God, my keyboard is broken and it is now impossible to type on it. So you're going to see a lot of spelling mistakes here. Oh, God, I don't know what I'm moving there. That's not the right thing. There we go. Make Logic nice and big there. And it's going to be up against Ninja. Who's been around for a long time. He's been around since I had like under 100 subscribers. Kind of crazy. That was years ago at this point. So then we have Ninja. Cool stuff. So guys, if you're ready to join. Did you? Awesome. So it is a Logic and Ninja's time. The matchup is going to be Cathay versus Nurgle. Cathay versus Nurgle. I'll let them know. So these guys opted, I gave the guys the option basically to decide between themselves if they want to do blind picks or pick and ban. And in the first set, we had pick and ban. In this set, these guys wanted to do blind picks, and it is going to be the Cathay of Ninja up against the Nurgle of Logic. So it's going to be a bit of a rematch of what we just seen. We'll be on a different map, though. So let's see if they're in the lobby first. No. Okay, let's send them a little message. Logic. Okay, and Ninja. You are up. Password 123. Awesome, and the map shall be back to the Glory of Battle of Itza, which this map was be much better for Grand Cathay than the last one we did. Nurgle way down on value, but winning on points. A tale as old as time for sure. I mean, it's always a little bit lopsided because Nurgle have so much healing, obviously. But still, yeah, they don't tend to get the most value. Always got to respect a good Nurgle player. You're in luck. Nurgle was a faction that Logic really did amazing with in early access, so I'm assuming he's going to be, you know, relatively good with them still. Good game to Dragonborn, given such good games. What a Chad. Honestly, they were amazing games. Very good start to the series. Also love me some Kenobi. Oh, Samarik. I'm actually really enjoying the TV show. I won't talk about it, though, because I don't know if people have seen it. I don't want to do spoilers. It's relatively new. Cool, let's, yeah, they want the invite code. Well, Logic is en route. And there's the code for Ninja. Yeah, very well played, Dragonborn, honestly. That was an awesome set of games. You ran him hard on both of them. Very hard. I think it honestly came down to World Beaters had a bit better, like, map control and map awareness. That was it. Like, damage-wise, Dragonborn, you were beating the brakes off some of World Beaters' armies. And it came down to not being able to cap the objectives. Hope you guys are enjoying, by the way. If you are, feel free to like and subscribe and all that good standard YouTube-y stuff. Really helps out. We're on the road to 10k now. About 9,930-ish, I think, last time I looked. So we're certainly getting there. We're certainly getting there. Let's quickly end the poll. Looks like you guys thought Nurgle was going to be victorious. It was true. Let's do a new poll, which is going to be the same again, but 2 different players. So who will win? Shall it be Logic's Nurgle or Ninja's Cathay? There we go. That should be up for you guys now. Okay, Ninja's going to restart. He said he couldn't join the lobby. Looks like Logic was in fine. It's annoying you can't invite people like you used to. I don't know why we have to do this whole code thing. Don't know why. Yeah, Logic likes his Nurgle. He's a big Papa Nurgle lover. He likes to suckle at the teat of Papa Nurgle. It has been known. He'll tell you himself. Looks like he's in. Ninja's just going to restart his game because he couldn't join. And then we'll get this second semi-final cracking. Once again, going to be best of threes. And then we have a best of three final between either Logic, Ninja, and World Beater. Cool. Looks like Ninja is popping back online. Can you invite via Teams? Oh, you can. There we go. You can still do it, you just can't do it here. It's very weird. Very weird indeed. We will once again be on the Battle of Itza. The glorious Lizardmen home base. Their space program. And when Lizardmen get in this game, I'm going to go pretty hammy with them. I'm going to go pretty crazy with them for a while. I'll probably do a couple of streams just dedicated to just playing Lizardmen on ranked or something. Really get our skills up again. I've been enjoying Warhammer 3 as an overall, but obviously like the limitations on number of factions at the moment is quite a problem. When we get the new stuff in, it's going to be just so good. So juicy and good. I do love the music though, it's pretty damn epic. Pretty damn epic stuff. Quickly check Discord, make sure there's not a problem. Oh, so he's loading up. Loading up. For those who don't know, Logic does indeed have a YouTube channel. Feel free to check him out. You can find him at logic_EU. If you're in chat Logic, feel free to drop a link to your glorious channel. He does a lot of Total War action in general. Total Warhammer predominantly, I think. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. Secret project in the work. Some RuneScape stuff. You don't hear it from me. If Logic says you weren't meant to know that surprise, you didn't hear it from me. Okay. Heard it just down the grapevine. In the herd they've been talking about it. I think he's looking to expand out a little bit, which is pretty cool stuff, for sure. I've actually been enjoying playing... Oh god, I'm going to butcher the name of it. It's like Star Wars Online Knights of the Republic or something like that. Check unit caps. Do we want unit caps though? Do we really want unit caps? Hey, Ninja Penguin is in. Awesome stuff. So it's going to be Nurgle versus Grand Cathay. Let these guys obviously organise their builds and stuff, and then we'll get started. Yes, there's a link to Logic's YouTube. Check the boyo out. He's also my housemate, for those who don't know. Bombshell. Most people know by this point. I remember when everyone found out, it was really funny. Everyone was kind of tripping. But he's currently playing downstairs. So if there's any foul play, any rule break and some Logic, I can go down and beat him up. Do it live on stream as well. I can take my webcam with me. I'll make for an interesting live stream for sure. Oh, an ambulance going by. Apologies if you guys can hear that in the background. It is rather loud. We do live right next to a hospital. Did also used to live near a police station, but the police station has closed down. Too much crime, they just couldn't catch Logic and they gave up. So, Nurgle versus Grand Cathay. Oh, this is looking like stuff, sure. Oh, baby. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Just based on what their like early ideas for builds are. It's going to be very fun. So the problem for Cathay on this map is more if they get bunched in and like forced back to the deployment zone. So they can't utilize their range units. That's when they're in problem. So Ninja's gonna have to really be on the front third, pushing out as much as possible, and then using his dominance of range. The map doesn't have too many shot blockers and stuff. You really can kind of abuse range as much as physically possible. The, of course, downside to that is if you get hemmed in the back of your deployment zone, your range is stacked with your own troops and be really nasty. And I expect Logic to play a very aggressive Nurgle style of play with one or two big guys sitting on the objectives. Like get Kugarth, get an Exile Grand Clean one, set him on an objective, and everything else just bomb rushes forward. Flyers, Forsaken, everything. Codes just dominate Grand Cathay. It can work pretty well. It's what I've had most success doing anyway with personally. Just overwhelm Cathay's range. But I don't know. I don't know if your guys' experiences are a little bit different. Maybe you got ways of stopping that pesky Nurgle with Cathay. But yeah, Nurgle don't die, as we found last game. So it's still going to be tough, even with those ranged troops on the battlefield, to actually get on top of the objectives. And both Grand Cathay and Nurgle are factions which really benefit from being on objectives early and bunkering down, rather than trying to take them in the late game. They're just so slow, pain in the arse. So I think most likely both players will be going pretty aggressive early on, hop on the objectives, and then we'll have it go from there. You never know. They might come with some off-meta interesting stuff as well. Maybe they will. Not so far. Oh, this is a ballsy build from Cathay. I like it quite a bit. Nurgle, very, very much what we expected from Nurgle. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a good game. A little sip of our drink while we wait for these guys to sort their builds out. Looks like the Mighty Logic is ready. Hey Ducky, I'm sad to see the stream has below 50 views at the moment. For the quality of Total War content you provide, you deserve a far wider audience. Well, thank you, dude. Yeah, I get this weird label, basically. I've had it since I started. Everyone's like, oh, you're really underrated. Like, oh, I wish more people watched and stuff for the quality, and it was really good. And actually, massive shout out to Darv Plays. He was the one who helped me bump up, like, at the beginning. I think he found my channel, was like, this is actually really good stuff, man. And then linked, like, people on his YouTube. He put up, like, a thing saying you could, come follow me and stuff. But yeah, I get that a lot. I don't know what it is. I don't know why the YouTube algorithm gods test me so. But they do. They do, sadly. We've got a really cool little community here, though, in fairness. We're still growing. A lot slower, of course, than we were on launch a game through. But hopefully we'll bounce back a little bit with Immortal Empires. But I hope you enjoy, man. Hope you enjoy. And thank you for the kind words, anyway, saying that it's you enjoy the quality of content. Kugarth, Plaguefather, has indeed been brought risky, in a way, because he's such a large target up against the range prowess of Grand Cathay, but with 4 Furies on the battlefield, it's going to be pretty hard to defend the back line and actually drag down Kugarth. We do have Miao Ying double Terracotta Sentinel, though, so it looks like we're going to have a big single entity fight on the objectives. This is very reminiscent of early Warhammer 3 meta, kind of on pre-release, where we saw a load of people go double Terracottas and bring Miao Ying with the healing. Oh, okay, the game, one of these guys crashed. No! What, did I crash? What? What on earth? Did your guys' games crash? Hack them. I don't want them to be playing and us not be able to see it. Him there. Desync. Oh, come on. Come on. Cool, we'll have to just go again. They know their builds, though. Can you rejoin? Same build. So I'm going to sort this out now quickly. Oh, looks like they've seen the message at least. You crash out the game. Yeah, you guys are going to have to unfortunately just hop out. Let's go same build straight away. Hopefully we get back to it. I'll invite the players. Let's invite Ninja. I don't know why this game desyncs so much. I don't know what it's about. What's up, CJ? How's it going, dude? Long time no see. Hope you're well in the hood. Just finished my work from home and your stream on. Blessing. Oh, hell yeah, man. Perfect timing. As I'm off work, I actually get to watch a duck quacking live. Hell yeah, Phil. Quite good, sir. We're about to hop into the second semi-final of this Domination best of 3 series. Unfortunately, the game crashed. just because, you know, desyncs now and again. I think there was a bug ages ago where if you hosted the game too much as a spectator, the game just kind of, like, bugged out and would kick you out. I didn't think that was still in the game, but maybe it's still a problem. Maybe it's still a problem. But we'll get these guys going and give them just the same builds. Hopefully it saves the build. I don't know if it does. Yeah, it looks like... Oh, no, he's having to rebuild the build. Okay, it won't take too long. Oh, look, it looks like Ninja's was... Oh, no, he's going to have to redo it. Okay, well, we've already seen the builds, so... Price to see fire rain rockets. Feel like they're priced too heavily. Favor the blimp over it. I agree. I think fire and rockets are not very optimal at the moment. They did good work in the game we just saw, though. Very good in the game we just saw. But again, they were able to fire, like, the majority of their junk. Whereas the Scar junk also did good, and it's just easy to protect. Okay, it looks like the Cathay forces are just setting up still. Apologies about the wait. It does happen, unfortunately, in live streams a lot of the time on these games. Still players connected from different parts of the world. I believe Ninja is in Denmark. And Logic lives below me. Well, technically, actually, his bedroom's on the same level as mine, but... So, looks like Logic is ready to go. Yeah. Ninja's just rebuilding his army, and we can get cracking. We can get cracking. What have you been up to, CJ? Haven't seen you in the Warhammer kind of scene for a little while. I wonder if you're waiting for Immortal Empires. I know a lot of people are just kind of waiting for Immortal Empires before they want to jump back in. Which is understandable as well. I like the variety of factions. Although I have also been told by a lot of newer players that actually enjoying Warhammer 3 more, simply due to the fact there's not so much to learn, and it's a bit more of a welcoming game in that sense. You don't have to learn, you know, like a billion, 19 matchups or whatever it is, instantly. You've only got, so many factions and so many units. It looks like he's nearly ready. He's doing his reinforcements. Let's hear the epic music in the background. Gives you guys more time to vote, though, on who you think's going to win. Between the mighty forces of Nurgle and Grand Cathay. Here we go. Please don't desync. I believe in you, game. I believe in the heart of the game. The heart of Total War. It can work. It can work, I promise. And Double Terracotta versus Kugarth. If Meow Ying's in dragon mode, maybe? Maybe they kill Kugarth here? I don't know. I'm a little bit still sus that Kugarth will just survive. Still have a cultist nearby supporting. But I guess, they might be able to cap and we're healing, counter hold the objectives. I guess that's the main aim of the game they'll have to play. Hey, we're in. We're in, baby! We're in the glorious Battle of Ipster. I love the waterfalls in the distance. We even have birds viewing us, good allies of the duck. And we are good to go. Awesome. So for the forces of the mighty Nurglin Prince himself, Mr. Logic, we have a load of Furies up in the skies. There's like 4 units. A bucket ton of Nurglins, actually. Mixing with 1 unit of Forsaken. So we do get the lovable little tykes. We didn't get to see them, I don't think, much in the previous game. But it's always good to see these guys in action. And then we have a Cultist of Nurgle, of course, with the summon. And then we have Kugarth, Plague Father, as well. He's going to be coming in with the Stream of Corruption, as well as Fleshy Abundance. The forces of Grand Cathay and Ninja. Looks like he has double Terracotta Sentinel, and he's not going to be doing the same as the double Giant we saw earlier. I actually really like this play quite a bit. So he's split up his army. We have 2 Spearmen on either side, as well as a Crossbowman unit on either side. We have a Terracotta Sentinel on either side, and then Meow Ying running the Gauntlet down the middle. This does mean that unlike the Giants before, though he may not be able to kill Kugarth, he can claim the objectives and win the domination game, which is going to be the plan. I already feel like all factions from Total Warhammer 3 are enough different for a lot of playtime. No need for Immortal Empires right away, even if I am hyped for it. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm happy there's been a period of, no Immortal Empires. If it had come in straight away, new players would have just been, gone instantly. I would just avoid Kugarth, yes. Yes. The problem with Kugarth is he got so much value from him now, because he can just do so much range pressure. I think you just have to accept the fact he's going to damage you, and leave him sitting on an objective, basically. But likewise, what Logic can do is move Kugarth onto the central objective with like a couple of Nurglings and then put all his rest of his pressure onto objective 3 and outcap the Terracotta Sentinel. So there's pros and cons to this splitting up tactic, but I enjoy the fact that we're going to see it in action. I enjoy it for sure. It looks like these guys are ready to go. Let me quickly just message them in Discord so there's no need to wait for me. They can start when ready. Start when ready. Oh, so they have started. Cool. Get back off Discord then. Open up chat again so I can see your beautiful faces. Nurgle spam. Rip a GPU fan. Oh god, yeah. All the mighty Nurglings. Look at them go. So Kugarth is doing a little speech. Think about rot. I don't know. It's very Nurgly in general. Oh, this poor little guy. These poor little Nurglings in their little cage just want to live free. I think he's got some friendly ones as well who are kind of up on the banners and so on. But anyway, he's going to be launching a few early shots in. He actually managed to clip Miao Ying's lovely face with a big slimy goop of Nurglin dust, which she's not going to enjoy too much whatsoever. The Furies are pushing forward. There's not that many ranged tools to take down. It looks like the Terracotta Sentinel is going to rotate back into the middle, perhaps now realizing the threat. And both Terracottas, they're eyeing up Kugarth. They're like, what's up, boy? Get back here. And they're charging in. They look like they're actually going to attempt to take the fight. Another risky play, I'd think. Peasant Longsword are pushing up to the middle objective. And it looks like the Crossmen are going to get jumped here by the Chaos Furies. They are the Jade Warriors. They've got a bit of staying power. And it looks like the Longspearmen, though, are going to abandon their allies and friends here. Terracotta Sentinels will just start slapping Nurglings up. Nurglin bowling today, boys. Doing some pretty nice early damage, hopefully. And driving back Kugarth from his little platform in the middle. We've got Longsword and Jade Warrior Crossbowmen moving up towards Objective 2, looking to cap that, and the rest of the forces do move towards that central objective. The Crossbowmen were saved here by Jade Lancers, lovely at bringing there by Ninja Pingving. Good counterplay where possible. Terracottas are going to move in, and oh no! No! The Nurglings! No! Oh my god, the Talons! That is disgusting! Disgusting! I don't think that was overcast. If it was, these units would be dead. Actually, it may be overcast. Oh my god! Oh my god, look at the value from Ninja, 2,200 gold. He just wasted like 5 units of Nurglings in one spell. That is disgusting. Miao Ying got 0 kills there, but so much damage value. Terracotta Sentinels comfortably going to fend off all these Nurglings. My god, that was rank. That was a rank, and Logic is instantly put on the back foot here. Forsaken will be capping Objective 3. At the middle, though, we've got some Plague Bearers being summoned, but they're only fighting a Peasant Longspearman. Miao Ying is now kind of in dragon form. Is it worth going after this Kugarth? A 3-for-1 fight? I would say probably not. I don't think so. I think Kugarth's simply too tanky and will still be able to hold the line. Objective 2, the Chaos Furies do rear attack the crossbowmen, looking to shut them down. There are Peasant Spearmen hereby to support, but Furies do not count as large. They're relatively decent at taking down those troops. We do get a Grand Cannon, and I like this pick quite a bit, looking to counter Kugarth now that the Flies are kind of being dealt with. So Objective 3 will be falling towards Nurgle's forces when it comes online. There are some J-Royal Crossbowmen moving out that way. Looks like Logic is stacking considerably more resources, though, perhaps looking to bring in some more infantry. Unfortunately, he lost a lot of his capping power in the early stages here with the Nurglings going down like this. Kugarth will be able to 1v1 a Terracotta Sentinel, particularly with the support here of the Plague Drones with their Death Heads doing some lovely work. Objective 2 is hotly contested. Looks like the Furies will be getting sorted out, though. Peasant Longspearmen as well as Crossbowmen are being forced back, but the Jade Lancers are nearby. Looks like they're going to drive back the enemy air contingent. We do have some Forsaken being summoned, though, onto the battlefield by Logic, who can summon a couple of units to apply a bit of pressure. Lovely early game, though, by Ninja. Really dominant, 4.2k gold value. Needs to keep up this momentum. And if he can pin Kugarth in place alongside the Terracotta, the Grand Cannon may be able to do a decent amount of work, but it's currently obstructed. That Terracotta is needs to move to the side a little bit. They're stopping the cannon really raining in firepower. We do have some Jade Lancers clattering in to the Forsaken. Lovely little bit of cycle charging here by Ninja. Lovely play. And Ninja, when he first started playing on the channel, was quite a new player to the game. It's so fantastic to see his growth and his ability now to control units like this. Cycle charging with the Jade Lancers, pulling the Forsaken out of position, and then gobbling them up with the Jade Warrior Crossbowmen. Lovely play indeed. Miao Ying is dealing with the Plague Drones up in the skies. It looks like we're going to have a nice bit of pressure, though. Forsaken are bomb rushing Objective 2. Like to see the support there of the Furies, who, although they're doing an important job here, they're taking down the Grand Cannon. That is going to stop the pressure on Kugarth. Unfortunately, the cannon was just obstructed and wasn't able to drag down Kugarth at all, unfortunately, which is a bit of a misplay with the Terracotta Sentinel. But hey, he was trying his best. If Kugarth can get onto the objective, he wants to be fighting longsword. He doesn't want to be fighting single entities like this. So he really needs to try and drive forward. We have a load of plague drones being brought to the battlefield, trying to counter the terracottas where possible, but ticket-wise, there's going to be an early advantage for Ninja as he does claim the objectives pretty nicely. Jade Royal Crossmen are being forced back. Looks like they're going to rotate places with the Spearmen, which I like to see. And alongside the Jade Lancers, the Forsaken are certainly going to struggle, but there are Nurglings on hot arrival as well. Seems like Miao Ying did go down to human form. She's been trying to pop some heals, no doubt, on the Terracotta Sentinels, who are starting to struggle a little bit. And it is still a pretty scary situation for Logic's Nurgle. He is going to start losing Objective 3. It's been dominated by Grand Cathay at the moment. I think the Plague Drones are getting him back in the game value-wise and trying to get rid of these Terracotta Sentinels. But it's taken Nurgle a long time. If he was doing this on the objective, it'd be a different story. Tomb of Corruption goes down with Peasant Long Spearman, doing some okay damage, not the craziest though. It does look like the Terracotta Sentinels will be biting the bullets and going down, but somehow the Grand Cannon is alive now, and it can start to unleash hell upon Kugarth. Nurgle forces have to get on the objectives, and they have to get on them very, very soon, as they are currently, I believe, being or about to be triple capped. Objective 2, though, is starting to fall into the hands of the Nurglings. Forsaken did a decent job grinding down Jade Lancers. Crossmen are starting to open up and shoot in a little bit, but with Nurgling support, the objective, yeah, double Nurglings. Looks like they have been respawned from their early blunder, are now moving over towards Objective 2. Should be enough there to claim it relatively comfortably. Crossbowman plus cannon fire, though, onto Kugarth. It's certainly going to wear him down. It looks like the double Terracottas are simply holding the line for a bucket ton of an age here. Cultist is moving forward, definitely wants to get on top of the back line if possible, and that's just what he's doing with his mighty steed. Likewise, the Plague Drones are looking to shut down the enemy range troops. Objective 2 is about to fall into the grubby mitts of Nurgle. Looks like the Nurglings are pushing up aggressively, and one Terracotta Sentinel down, one to go. Kugarth has done a decent job in the single entity fight, despite the fact that's not really, his dream job. He's up to 1.6k value. Grand Cannon is still unleashing hell, though there is a lot of pressure coming in from the Plague Drones now in the back. Objective number 2, I believe it is now been held by Nurgle. Lovely bit of pressure there. We'll have to see the Nurglings come down now to Objective 1. Number 3 is well and truly in the Grand Cathay hands. Kugarth would probably should just ignore his Terracotta and just move into the infantry on the objectives. That's where his air effect is really going to come in and do some massive work. What's up, Captain Morgan? Yes, we're into the second semi-final. Logic is currently up against Ninja. Ninja is in the form of Grand Cathay, and he is doing really well so far, actually overwhelming Nurgle's forces. Peasant Longsword get taken down, though, and it looks like Kugarth is not quite on the objective. Jade Lancers will be holding him in the place. It is attempting to push through here a little bit. Terracotta Sentinel is struggling up against Plague Drones. We do have the summon of the Great Longmire Riders. Lovely counterpick. I think like the Cathay player's been real snappy with his counterpick so far. And it looks like the crossbow will be shut down, so some of these Nurglings pushing over to the central objective would be huge. It has not got to a point yet where there'd be a triple cap for Nurgle needed. And now Kugarth, this is where he wants to be. His Air of Effect Mortis Engine will be in effect, draining down the Spearmen, draining down the Jade Lancers. This is perfect situational play for Nurgle now. And up in the skies, Plague Drones are harassing the enemy back line. The Cultists and Nurgle are a pain in the butt. They are so annoying to deal with the forces of Cathay. But one person who can deal with them is Miao Ying, and that's just what she's doing down here. Looks like the crossbowman will be getting forced back, and the cannon is got knocked off its artillery piece, unfortunately, there. Maybe the artillery piece has got destroyed? Looks like one's been destroyed, but they're kind of yeeting forward heroically. Bit of a misplay there. I've done that before when you flip your cannon and quick attack and don't realise you're not mounted on the objective. So it is now a 2-for-1 cap for the forces of Nurgle in a very timely manner here. 3,000 tickets to 1,300. Would like to see a triple cap attempt by the Nurgle forces just to constantly apply pressure and really stretch the forces of Grand Cathay. Objective 2 is wide open, though, if cavalry can get over there. Looks like the Jade Lance is getting bogged down by a pesky unit of Nurglings who are currently holding 3 units at bay, which is a really lovely play there from Master Logic himself. Nurglings are moving over. Looks like triple Nurglings doing a bit of a push for Objective 3. Need to be careful, though. Kugarth is on his own in this middle objective. Could still be overwhelmed, even if he, is going to get great value. And it looks like the Festering Studios have been summoned. Nice, expensive summon by Logic to try and apply pressure to Objective 1. He's stacking quite a lot of resources, though. Getting some Forsaken to move forward and really secure these objectives, I think, should be the next play. But, of course, they might not be on cooldown yet to come back into the action. Grand Cannon crew charging heroically and then terrified, which is understandable. Kugarth is going to start driving them away. And it looks like just the plague drones are bogging down a lot of the Grand Cathay forces in the back here. Quite a few units not active as well. Need to get moving once more. Looks like the micromanagement is elsewhere. Perhaps looking to try to secure Objective 3 or on the mighty Terracotta Sentinel here. If the Festival Studios can shoot him, they can do some big damage there. Looks like the cavalry is bouncing around. Very close game so far. Logic once again comes in with a Summon of the Furies, looking to apply a bit of pressure. 2,000 tickets to 3,400. My god, every game we've had so far has been very, very close, and I love to see it. Nurglings are now gobbling up Jade Warrior Crossbowmen. Jade Lance has been forced back as well. There's a big contingent of Grand Cathay forces though who can apply pressure to Objective 1. Looks like they're going to do just that as well, and they are starting to actually claim the objective back. The Nurgling push onto Objective 3 unfortunately faltered and fell short. One unit Nurglings is still duking it out though, so there is hope for a triple cap. Just looking at a little bit rough there. We get triple Fury summoned once again here by Logic, really looking to shut down the enemy back line. And they don't have any cap in weight though, but he is fine as long as he holds these two objectives the entirety of the game. Nurglings did a good job winning that left-hand fight. They can now pull back to hopefully hold Objective 2. A big juicy fight going in the middle. And yeah, the Kugarth Plaguefarer was doing a decent job on the Jade Lancers. Furies are pushing over, looking to swarm the enemy. Looks like Terracotta Sentinel is getting an Earthblood to heal him up nicely. Veteran Studios should just ignore this guy and push through onto the objectives, I think. Nurglings are doing a bit of a push onto Objective 3 as well. Chaos Furies are going to feast upon the souls of the Crossbowmen. This fight's just going on across the entire length of the battlefield, and I am all for it. Grand Cathay do seem to be running a little bit out of steam though, as the Furies are just chasing off their archers, allowing the infantry corps of Nurgle to recover because they were on the back foot for sure. But disaster! Objective 2 is starting to fall into the hands of Grand Cathay. Looks like Logic did overchase with his Nurglings to hunt down peasant archers, and a sneaky unit of Jade Lancers who are off the edge of the map here. You could barely see them, have snuck back in. We're gonna have to wait to see if Logic does realize this mistake, and he needs to bomb rush back now with both units of Nurglings. In fact, all triple Nurglings here overextending, need to fall back. They got a little bit greedy there in the mid game, and that's opened the door for a comeback for Grand Cathay. Objective 3 is hotly contested by Nurglings and Jade Warriors. Kugarth is holding Objective 1, but Objective 2 is wide open. The Nurglings are on the way back, it would seem. Or one unit is. These two units, yeah, just ignore the archers. Allow the Furies to chase off and get all of these Nurglings back, otherwise he will lose Objective 2 and thus the game. Very close though, but he's struggling to also hold the middle objective. Lovely Talons is going to come down in by Miao Ying. It looks like there was an attempted dodge, but Storm of Shadows goes down on them, slowing their pace. They're going to take some pretty hefty damage there. The Toads are active as well, trying to get towards the middle objective, but Grand Cathay has simply too many infantry units on the objective. Objective 2 is once again secured by Nurgle. But, you know, chasing off these troops, this many infantry units, is a big mistake, and I think that's what's going to cost Logic the game, because they need to be on objectives right now. Demon Clutching goes down, catches a decent chunk of Jade Warriors and Peasant Long Spearmen, but nothing too crazy. Kugarth's going to be getting a fantastic amount of value, but the objectives were played better by Cathay, I think, and because of that, it looks like they may indeed be victorious. Damage value-wise, it's very close. 1,500 to Ninja, 1,200 to Nurgle, but the Nurgle, of course, have had a lot of regeneration, but so have Grand Cathay, actually. Late Toads are forcing themselves in. Looks like the Festival Studios are on arrival as well, looking to try to get this objective back. Nurglings are just kind of running rampant in the countryside, though, nakedly sprinting through fields of wheat, which that's a really weird joke unless you're into British politics. But yeah, they need to kind of get back here. And Objective 3 looks like it's going to hold, and I think, yeah, it definitely needs to be a triple cap right now for Nurgle, but they currently can't even get the double cap. And somehow, this heroic, legendary Terracotta Sentinel is still alive. It's been fighting all day long. We have a second Terracotta on the battlefield as well. And that is going to be GG's, well played, and a sweet, juicy victory to the Grand Cathay player, and Ninja taking the first steps to the final here in this best of 3 series. Because I don't think there's any way we can get a triple cap right here. Nurglings are moving back, trying to claim the objectives, but it is too little, too late, and boom, it is a 1-0 there to Grand Cathay. That was a close game for sure. That was very close. The Miao Ying plays early doors were massive because it allowed Grand Cathay to get the objectives quickly, because all of the capture weight in this Nurgle army was on the Nurglings, because all these, you know, Furies have 0 capture weight, and the Nurglings dying like that in the early game was devastating. But it was fine because Logic managed to get back into the game, but then the Nurglings, once again, these pesky little devils kind of overextending, not being on the objectives, really hurt Logic's chances there. I think just a lack of infantry in general. They brought in both the Plague Drones early on. They got a lot of good damage done, 1.7k and 1.k. But in the end, the Terracottas were still able to survive and kind of duke it out there. But lovely game. Well played by both players. Really awesome stuff here. And I love to see it in action. Some good Fury players well to shut down cannons and stuff at different points. But well played to Ninja. 2.5k on Miao Ying was devastating. 1k and 1.9k on the Terracotta Sentinels is also pretty damn juicy. The Great Long Mars, 1.7k value on them. The Jade Lancers, 1,000 value, 700, 1,000. Real masterclass there in just kind of holding the enemy back with those Terracotta Sentinels and Miao Ying and stopping Nurgle getting out their deployment zone, which is something they can certainly struggle with. So up next, it is going to be the Mountain of Morn once more before we move on to our finals, of course. And let's quickly see their blind pick. Yeah. And me blind pick. Cool, I have a Logic's pick. And we'll just wait for ninjas. While we do that, let us quickly update the scoreboard. So the Mighty Ninja, 1-0 up here. You guys need to do a spirit bomb right now. Give your energy to Logic, your boy. Ooh. We may have a mirror match. Awesome. It is a mirror. We have a mirror match, ladies and gentlemen. It is Khorne versus Khorne. Blood for the blood god. Skulls shall be reaped in his bloody name. Glory to the might of Khorne. This is going to be an absolute messy game, and I'm all for it. Logic needs to come back into this one. He is a 1-0 down currently, but still plenty left in the tank. And Khorne is a faction he's pretty scared with as well. Both players were like, oh, for God's sake. Ninja's like, no. Logic just like, oh, God, no. Oh, no. Well, Khorne mirror it is. Oh, let's stand up quickly, give my knees a little rest. Pro plays, put half your army inside the radius of the Cathay best spell. Hey, the best way. It is the best way. Although half value, I guess, not really. That's only Nurglings. Pro plays, don't play Cathay. I mean, Cathay won, man. Cathay aren't that bad either. I actually think Cathay are secretly pretty good. They're the hardest faction to use. Maybe Slaanesh are harder, actually, to use. I'd say Grand Cathay are a better faction than Slaanesh. Overall, if you're including land battles as well. Dark, I gave you a challenge. 6 Einhell Gunners at start an army in Domination. Cool. I'll, give it a go at some point, for sure. Oh, show. I've already got a video prepared for today, so it won't be that one, I'm afraid. It is a Ogres versus Slaanesh game, featuring the one, the only, Palpatine, the champion of the people. Champion the champion. So, Khorne mirror match. The way I like to go here, Scarbrand, load of blood letters, some halberds in the mix as well, and that's just good base. From there, if you trade effectively, you're fine. A lot of the time. Minotaurs or Great Weapons are also fantastic here. If you ignore halberds and bloodletters, they can surround and drag down a lot of the guys. So, Exile bloodletters can do a job. I think the Regiment Renowned will be a really good idea as well. I could certainly see them doing a bucket ton of work. Check Discord, make sure we've got no questions. Looks like we're all good. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, feel free to give a cheeky little thumbs up and subscribe if you're new around here. We're on our the road to the mighty 10k. That is our dream. That is our goal. That is what we're aiming for. So, it'll help if you guys, if you haven't subscribed, feel free. It's free. I promise. You may get a random duck appear at your door and look at you funny, but don't worry about it. It's just a side effect. It is simply a side effect. See what these boys are going for so far. Oh my god! Oh god! Oh my god! This is an awesome build. This is the most rock and roll thing I've seen from Logic. This is a nice build from Ninja as well. Minotaurs? Oh yeah. Plus the anti-large skull crushers. Yeah, it's a pretty scary build actually from Ninja. I don't think the Bloodthirst is necessary, personally. I don't know what the Bloodthirst is going to add. I mean, I guess it guarantees you win the Scarbrand fight early on, if there is a Scarbrand fight. I have to say. Looks like Ninja's ready to go. Looks like Logic's pretty much ready to go as well. We will start when ready. Bring the Cloak of Jet and Glittering Robes. Glittering Robes. God, it's making it like a worse and worse challenge as we go. Grand Cathay already struggled a little bit in Domination. It depends on the matchup, though, and the player. Cool, just waiting on Mr. Logic. Once again, he's a fantastic YouTuber. Feel free to go check him out at logic_EU. We were actually going to do a joint stream today. We might end up doing that tomorrow. Or soon, anyway. A Dawn of War stream. Dawn of War Soulstorm. We got all the DLC. We may do a multiplayer stream of that. I'm going to invite people on as well if they want to play. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Looks like Logic is still tinkering with his army. Tinkering with. Oh, he has actually replaced the Bloodthirst with Minotaur. I think that's a much better pick, personally. I feel like Bloodthirst is just such an overkill. Minotaurs will be able to rip and tear, as long as they avoid Halberds and Bloodletters. Because, like, Bloodletters, you know, will trade okay into them, even if the Minotaurs may win. Two very different approaches, though. Spawn, saturated on top of Warriors, against, like, Bloodletters and Armor Pierce and stuff. Minotaurs are going to rip this build to shreds, though. That's going to be the main problem for a Ninja, I think. It's a great weapon. He has his own Minotaurs in the back pocket, though, which he can bring in. They never expect the unspotted and armored Iron Hail Gunners. It would be a surprise for sure walking on the battlefield and a load of shotguns in your face. I like the concept of the Iron Hail Gunners quite a bit. Right, let me get back in position. Ugh, I have to kneel at the moment whilst casting and stuff. Still can't sit down from my operation, and oh my god, my knees look like hell now, so I sound a bit distant because I stand up between the games. But I'm back in position now. So, for the forces of our Logic, he's going to be our Blue Corn forces today. We do have double Exalted Bloodletters. Now, if they get up and running, they are scary. They can do so much devastating work. They're supported by, Minotaur Great Weapons. And it looks like the rest of the build's over on this side. We have a normal unit of Bloodletters. We have a Cultist of Khorne. And we have Scarbrand down here on the ground. Scarbrand, a fantastic pick here, because he can breath attack enemy infantry, beat any of their single entities 1-1, and assassinate enemies and generals. For the force of Ninja, we have a big pack of doggos, my god. Double Chaos Warhounds, double Flesh Hounds on this left-hand side, and the main battle line is going to be triple Chaos Warriors saturated upon them, shall be triple Spawn of Khorne. Now, personally, I wouldn't want to be saturated upon by a spawn, but hey, each to their own. We then have a little Herald of Khorne on foot, just looking quite snazzy. It's kind of his usual buffs. Revel in Slaughter and Hellblade, of course, can buff up the infantry and Spawn Corps to help them take on the more elite infantry of Logic's army here. But Voodoo, let's get this battle underway. Let's get underway. I did not do a new poll, but it's Khorne v Khorne, so I don't think the poll would work particularly well. I don't know if that would go super. So we do have some Flesh Hounds on the left-hand side with more doggos. They definitely need to be careful, though. Scarbrand is on approach, and he is feeling mean and angry. If these Exiled Bloodletters can carve their way through a couple of doggos before getting to the main fight, they're going to love it. They'll do great against the Warriors. The Spawn, though, will be a little bit problematic, of course, for them. Scarbrand is currently bellowing in rage and beating his chest with his axe, it seems like. Oh, sorry there. Bit of a cough. As his wings do flutter. And he's going to go up for the objective. So it looks like, at the moment, Logic is focusing on objective 2 and 3. Ninja is focusing on objective 1 and 2. There's going to be a real bloody fight in the middle. We do have Halberds being summoned in. We'd love to see a Bellow's Rage go down the side of them at some point. And they need to be careful from the Exiled Bloodletters, but they can, of course, deal with the Minotaurs relatively well. Doggos are floating out to Objective 3, looking just to cap Objectives early days and kind of dance around Scarbrands. But to be honest, the Bloodletters on the objective, like, when these guys do arrive, you're going to carve through them pretty damn quickly. And got more Hounds moving out to the left-hand side. So, Halberds have been summoned by both players, looking to get a bit of anti-large reinforcements, realising how much large is going to be on the battlefield for both players here. Warhounds are floating around the left-hand side, maybe looking to get a bit of a cheeky rear attack. I love this just a wide play from Ninja. He's really kind of got the entire battlefield under pressure. He's also summoned some Bloodletters to the battlefield, which is a nice pick. Needs to be careful with his doggos, though. Don't engage with the Bloodletters. It looks like they're running very dangerously close to the sun there. A couple are going to get caught up and butchered, perhaps. They are now rotating over to the middle, perhaps looking to rear attack into the enemy where possible. But Logic at the moment being quite passive, sitting back, waiting for the enemy to come to him there, whilst he summons double halberds to the battlefield. So it looks like Skarbrand is rotating over. He's floating back towards the middle. Big breath attacks down the line on the halberds would be a massive boon. And he is falling back with his Minotaurs here a little bit. The Exiled Bloodletters are raring to go. We are going to get a nice summon. This is a lovely play by Logic. So he's summoning in a unit of Bloodletters in front of the spawn to cut down their charge. And now he can charge in with the Exiled Bloodletters and do some decent damage. Looks like it only works in catching one unit though. The other two are able to sneak by relatively effectively into the grasp of the halberds, though of course won't be the most joyous thing for them ever. Hit 3, we've got one unit of Bloodletters hold it, which I like to see. It looks like Warhounds are being forced back by Skarbrand, who's floating over to the middle of the engagement. If he gets a breath attack down on these halberds, that is going to be some gnarly stuff. Look amount of infantry. Is he going to do it? He's waiting. He's patiently waiting to blow. Is he going to do it, though? The Chaos Warriors are on arrival, though. They can shut him down. That'd be a pretty nice play. All three spawn have been absolutely sliced and diced here, so they've left their halberds behind, their warriors behind, due to the fact Logic got some Bloodletters on them, was able to force them back, and that has isolated the spawn. The spawn need to fight on top of nearby homies, because the Minotaurs are cleaving them asunder with mighty swings of their war axes, and the Exalted Bloodletters as well, doing some lovely damage here. Now the reinforcements are starting to pour in, but it's a little bit too little too late there. Logic is ahead on the damage value for sure. Looks like he will be able to cap objective 3. Skarbrand's been a sneaky little devil, baiting in the halberds, then falling back. That's some cheeky play. Bloodletters are going to cap objective 3, then maybe move over to help. And yeah, Skarbrand's just harassing the enemy back line, being a real nuisance for sure. There's way more infantry on the battlefield, though, currently, for the force of ninjas, so he's going to get an early cap advantage here. The Exalted Bloodletters, if they get up and running here, they're going to chew into this infantry, but it's a big, scary blob fight for now. And Skarbrand is surrounded. This is bad news for the boy. He's not got his homies with him. Warhounds attempted to pin him in place. The enemy general can certainly do some good numbers on him. And there's Bloodletters nearby. Looks like he is going to use his Masto to pull back to relative safety. We do have more Flesh Hounds on the objectives. It looks like, though, Logic's gone for a cheeky back cap here. We have double Flesh Hounds running off the Warhounds of Ninja. And if they get surrounding the Warriors, they should be able to overwhelm them. Looks like they're going for a frontal charge, though. And it's going to stop Ninja from getting the double cap, which is nice for now. Skarbrand's free, and he should probably pop around and kill this Herald now. Big blob fight. Look at this disgusting blob fight in the mid. I think it is going to be favouring Logic, though. Despite the fact he's not on the objective yet, he's going to get a lot more value out of this. And it looks like, though, the Exiled Bloodletters are really struggling to get to that cap where they get their boon, because they had to kill the spawn first rather than the other way around. And they are struggling here in this big blob fight. But it's going relatively well cost effectiveness, I think, from Logic's point of view. He has some halberds moving over, and they're switching position with the Bloodletters. This is lovely play. Halberds can babysit objective 3. Bloodletters can rear attack this blob if the Exalted can hold long enough. Big fight goes down here in the center. We are going to get a Wrathful Reaper go down on Skarbrand, and he needs to connect a couple more times with the Herald. Should be enough to finish him off. Looks like Wrath does go down, though. And oh my god, look at that swing. The slow motion uppercut with an axe into the face of the Herald, who's now rampage and can't escape. Logic needs to time this well, though. The Skarbrand being killed enemy general, that's great, but don't get him bogged down in those halberds. Over on the right-hand side, it is a close fight. It looks like Logic is actually claiming the objective because the Hounds are pushing the Warriors off the objective, which is nice to see. And the middle blob fight, they are just about holding here, the Halberds and Exiled Bloodletters of Logic. That's allowed the Bloodletters to come for this big, long rear attack. And now they're going to start carving up Halberds in the arse. That is not what the Halberds want, a big old blade shoved where the sun don't shine. But that's what they're going to get, sadly. Holders is continue to duke it out in the middle. Warhound on Warhound action. You hate to see it. Someone call these services. And it looks like some spawn are being summoned actually and pushed through objective 3 by Logic. Maybe as a Halberds are going for a bit of a trot here. Maybe looking to wrap around maybe and do a bit of a push onto another objective. Currently, ticket-wise, it is an advantage for Ninja, but I don't think that's going to last too long. Actually, he's managed to hold objective 1 off, which is good play. Logic is starting to claim it once more. We do have Halberds on arrival looking to support here. And Skarbrand with the Horn of Corn popped on him, so doing a really nice damage to the enemy. Is he going to have enough to cap this objective when the Halberds get here? I do not know. It looks like it's quite a tough fight so far. Ahead damage value-wise, but not by masses anymore. This is a lovely play, though. Bloodletters surrounding the core of enemy infantry. Once this bursts, and it will most likely burst, that's when Logic's going to be in a good position. If Scarbrand get a breath attack down the line here, oh, that would be so nasty. If he brought his breath attack, which, oh, he didn't bring the breath attack. Oh, okay, that explains why I didn't bring it. I would always bring the breath attack personally in this matchup. It's so good. But yeah, jumping in, it looks like the forces of Ninja will start to get overwhelmed here in the middle, particularly the Warhounds pouring in. But the objectives, it's still so close, and Ninja is clinging on to more of them. He's summoning the Minotaurs of Khorne nearby for support, which I like to see, as they can do a bit of number on Scarbrand and cleave through a bucket ton of Fleshhounds. But yeah, it's looking real rough here in the middle now, and it looks like Logic is starting to actually claim this central objective, and he now has Exile Bloodletters pumped up and raring to go. So if they die and come back, they will have that big boon to their melee attack, and now this infantry needs to start capping objectives as swiftly as possible. Objective 1 has been lost. It looks like the Minotaurs were able to hop on it. It's currently a 2-for-1 cap. Ninja is running away with it at the moment, but he is about to lose Objective 2. And it looks like Ninja has a lot more supplies, although Logic did just summon a unit of Hellforged Host, a regiment renowned. Love to see these guys in action. Probably worth even moving them into the middle for now. Actually, I guess, yeah, move to the left and then rotate to middle if need be, because this is where most of the fighting will probably take place. Halberds have been forced off. It looks like the Exalted Demons are doing pretty decent work here, the Bloodletters. I've been calling them Demonettes maybe throughout the battle, which I apologise for. My brain turns to mush after like 2 hours of streaming. The Chaos Warhounds have been forced back by the spawn of Khorne, and now it is Logic who is indeed in the driving seat. Ninja has a decent amount of forces on Objective 1, but if we have a nice overarching view of the battlefield, Logic is massively in the ascendancy. He has more army on the battlefield. He's currently not giving his opponent any comeback bonus, and he has a large army in general, plus 2 objectives. It's looking pretty good for him, particularly with that gold damage advantage. It's looking pretty tasty for the forces of the Blue Khorne, but Ninja does come in with some summons to try and get it back. We have the Bloodletters and Spawn being summoned in the rear, looking to push up. Chaos Spawn of Logic just drive away the Warhounds and then fall back to hold the objective. There's no real need to push for the triple cap right now. He knows he's in the driving seat. Fleshhounds being used just to hunt down these routing units. The good thing about the units routing as well is if a unit gets like this beat up, I let it continue to route, because it means my opponent isn't going to be able to summon it back to the battlefield. Is chasing them down is also a good play as well, depending on the scenario. The Exiled Bloodletters were withdrawn off the battlefield, which I like a lot. They can then be resummoned with their bonus active. Bloodletters or the Hellforge are moving up. Halberds as well. I'm not sure what they're doing. They keep like jiggling up and around. They're moving over to the left here, perhaps looking for a cheeky flank, or maybe hide in the trees to block off the enemy. Who knows what schemes Logic is attempting to play. Bloodletters are going to have to receive a rather nasty charge from the Minotaurs. Scarbrand is nearby though, and though he will take big damage from the great weapons, he can also dish it back, particularly the cultists nearby for support. We also have Halberds moving over to try and rectify this dangerous situation. Spawn on spawn action is going to be going down on the middle, and where did a lot of Logic's forces go? It looks like all of a sudden Ninja has like more army on the battlefield, or like a big push coming in. I guess Logic's summoning more army at the moment. Yeah, we've got Bloodletters coming in, plus he's stacking 1,000 reinforcements. That makes a lot more sense. Fleshhounds can move in to help support. Objective 3 is still well and truly secured by the Chaos Warrior Halberds, and it looks like we're going to get a big fight go down here. So the Minotaurs have been rampaged by Rage Embodied, but this is not necessarily the best fight for Scarbrand either. He's fighting amongst the trees, the Heralds here, and the Minotaurs may be able to drag him down. He has some Halberds nearby who may be able to support him. They're struggling to get through the blockade of enemy Chaos Warrior Halberds themselves, and Scarbrand taking a bucket ton of damage here in the center. Could be a good way back into the game for Ninja. He's got a bit of a fight on his hands though, because Fleshhounds, that's what I love to see. Logic's just applying pressure constantly to all the objectives. Jump on objective 1 and try and save Scarbrand first. I think Scarbrand may go down here. This was a really rough fight here for Logic. The Minotaurs are getting their blood kind of pumping, and they're already up to 2k value after basically one confrontation, and down Scarbrand goes. It's a big problem there for Logic, and he may lose the middle objective right now. He's applying a lot of pressure to objective 1 though. He has the Fleshhound mobility advantage to try and shut them down. We also have Bloodletters moving forward. We have even more Fleshhounds on arrival. In the back, it looks like the Hellforged Host doing lovely damage to the enemy Bloodletters. Should be able to secure that victory. They are allowing Fleshhounds to cap the middle. There are, though, Bloodletters on arrival, and that should be enough to stop these pesky Fleshhounds once and for all. And it looks like Logic is now going for the triple cap, which I certainly think is a good play. In the middle here, Minotaurs are, unfortunately, they were so glorious, they were so awesome. They slew, they slayed, and they did a lot of work there to drag down Scarbrand, but now they're kind of getting eaten by Fleshhounds. So they do have the anti-lodge, so maybe they'll survive. There's also Hellhounds or Fleshhounds mixed in here, though, which is a little bit rough of course, for the Minotaurs. And it looks like the triple cap is certainly on at the moment. Still a hotly contested fight across the board. These players have been going at it in these games. Very lovely games so far in both the first and second semi-final. Skull Crushers, 10 kills, doing good work here up against the juicy Fleshhounds, starting to overwhelm them and hopefully apply pressure back to the middle. Hellforge hosts are dragging down spawn. Love to see that. They can then move back and defend the central position. Chaos Warriors Halberds are getting aggressive as well. And once again, if we have an overarching view of the battlefield, Logic's army is dominating. There's just so many more troops everywhere. The Fleshhound play is being used really effectively. And it is going to be a juicy triple cap, which is definitely time for the triple cap, I think. And try to apply as much pressure as possible to your opponent. Bloodlayers do win the middle fight. Fleshhounds or Chaos Warhounds are moving up. Halberds still vibing. They've been on babysitting duty all day. They must be really angry. They're not being able to spill blood for their mighty Bloodlord. And Chaos Warhound v Warhound action. You hate to see doggos going at it like this, but it is what it is. These are the times we live in. And yeah, on the charge, I think Logic should be fine. They were slightly more healthy, but you never know. RNG does play a part in it. Hellforge hosts get the Horn of Khorne go down. There's still 53 models there. They're going to do some really nice damage to the Skull Crushers, or at least they intended to, but the Fleshhound saturated on top means it's not going to be quite such a good fight, unfortunately, for the Hellforge that it promised to be. Halberds are moving up. It looks like Fleshhounds are moving up, looking to camp the enemy spawn, which is definitely a good idea. It is a triple cap, and it is going to be a 1-0 in this second semi-final, best of 3 series. There is no way that Ninja can get back into this at this point. A very hotly contested game, though. It's rolled back and forth, but when Logic started to get his nose in front, he just really put his, throat on the neck, pedal to the metal, whatever you want to call it, kept the momentum going, and was able to become victorious. Lovely to see. Hellforge hosting a number here on the Skullforge, despite being so beat up. They're doing really lovely work there. Look at that. 2k value, 140 kills. Beautiful work for sure. But yeah, objective 1, don't even need troops here. We've got some Fleshhounds. We have more Minotaurs being summoned as well to capture the objectives. And it looks like the Skull Crushers, they tried their hardest, they tried their best. They probably got some okay value, 1,000 value, not shabby. But alas, that is all they're going to sing, and it is going to be GG, well played. Thanks for the 20. I dropped a like for you. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. For the mighty Warden Munning. I probably butchered your name, and I apologise. I love the name. So, a lovely cap there, yeah, chill cap. That's GG's. That is GG's. Unending glory. Need a sit-stand desk dog? Oh, for sure. I really need one, Derek. I'm not going to lie, like right now. But I'm close. Well, they keep saying I'm close to recovery. Apparently got about 3 weeks left before they think I go to work. So hopefully that means I can sit down. I did get it's like an orthopedic chair. But I'm not sure if I haven't tried it out yet too much. But anyway, very well played to these two lads. Well played to Ninja and Logic. Logic scrapping back in this best of 3 series. Scarbrand, 2.5k value, 800 on the Minotaurs, but 1.3k, 1.2k on the Exile Bloodletters. Once he popped that bubble in the middle and won that big grind fight, he always looks pretty going in pretty strong into the latter stages of the battle. 1.7 on the Cultist. It looks like 2k on the Hellforge. A lovely pick there. Surprised they both didn't start with that unit, actually. 1k, 1.3k. Like decent across the board. Fleshhound play was nice as well. Again, big rear attacks by both players. 1.3k on that Fleshhound. Ninja did a good job as well. Very different style of approach here. 1.2k on his Lord, 1.6 on the Spawn, who did a decent job. Unfortunately, just get allowance, get surrounded, was like the big problem for him. Skull Crushers, 1.1k value, 2.5 on the Minotaurs. Not shabby whatsoever. How does Bloodletters perform? Okay, nothing too crazy. GG's. So we'll be moving up now to Death Path. So let's beat the guys. GG. And Death Path. Map. Still. Cool. Looks like Logic has selected a faction. I love it. Just waiting on Mr. Ninja now. Let's quickly update the scoreboard as well. It is a 1-0. Which is good to see. And Death Pass, nice open map. Very nice open map. I'll sip of our drink. Yeah, very good game so far. So I've seen Logic's message in the chat where we got these boys so they can do picks and bans and stuff. Very close indeed. Very close. So we'll just wait for Ninja to send his blind pick, and then we'll get cracking. Right, I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. I'm very quickly going to go grab my phone charger to keep chat alive, and I'm going to open my window and stuff. So I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys, while these guys do their picks down. And I have a return. The king doth return. Let's see what their picks are. Oh no. Hang on a sec. Well, it is another mirror. We're going to get a bit of duck on duck action. It is a Tzeentch mirror match. So duck v duck. Duck v duck. This is going to be grimy. Tzeentch mirror match. Interesting to see how these guys approach this. I think lots of knights and doom knights and stuff tends to be the way to go. Really funny. They're like, no, not a mirror. I'm like, you guys wanted the blind picks. You wanted them. So Tzeentch v Tzeentch. I think, yeah, lots of Chaos Knights match up. Doom Knights would be good as well, of course. And the standard stuff, Blue Horrors, Forsaken, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Sure. There we go. And then we'll have a best of 3 final after this, guys, so still plenty of room left in the stream. That'll be the winner of this set up against the mighty World Beater. It'll take place on Galleon's Cove, crossing of the Sea of Claws, I believe it's called, and Arnheim. I quite like Arnheim. Hopefully we get to do the 3rd match. Hopefully we get all the way to the 3rd match. Quickly double check something as well, make sure you guys are good. I'm just going to start a bit of admin, guys, in the back while we wait for these lads. And I would do a new poll for you guys, but it does seem a bit better. Let's do one anyway. We'll do a Z poll. And that previous poll, start a new one. You will win. Let the Clarity Stake just do Logic and Ninja, rather than doing who will win Tzeentch or Tzeentch, because people might get a little bit. So you guys voted on Nurgle winning against Cathay. Well, that did not happen. Cathay came back. Return of the Cathay. Cool. Looks like Ninja's ready to rumble. The guys have got so far. Pretty cool stuff. A little unorthodox. Double duck in the sky. Oh no! They've both gone double duck. No! Oh my god, this is gonna be madness. This game's gonna be crazy. This game's gonna be crazy for sure. Yeah, pillow over up. You guys can vote on who you think is gonna win, Ninja or Logic. Is the final of the second semi-final best of 3. Logics, there's unit caps. Yeah, we can chuck unit caps on. The only rules today are unit caps. What I love most, I think, about Domination mode, like Tom and hosting, I just gonna chill and enjoy, you know? rather than everyone worrying about different interpretations and pronunciations of rules and stuff. Death's pass it is. Cool. So both players are probably nearly there. Yeah, so Logic's basically got his build done. So Ninja's changing 1 or 2 bits, but it's nearly there as well. And then we can load up into the final. Epic. Any of you guys been watching the Kenobi series? In my latest film, well, the Kenobi and The Boys. The Boys is wild, man. The Boys, it's only season 3. For those who like superhero programs and stuff, they may like it. It's also kind of anti-superhero, fighting a lot of the stereotypes and stuff. It is amazing. It's so good. But they're on season 3 right now, and I think a load more episodes drop tomorrow. Seems like they're dropping 3 at a time. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it to basically everyone who is old enough to watch something like it. It's a very hard 18 rated. I'm enjoying that so much, I've been tempted to get the actual graphic novels, because I think they're significantly different as far as like how the story goes and stuff. So maybe I'll go out and purchase them. I'm trying to find a good place to actually buy them. I need to be able to get omnibus of the graphic novels on Amazon, but only the first 3. I kind of want all of them. So I'll see. They're quite expensive as well, but I may treat myself. The graphic novel. I recently read the Moon Knight graphic novel after seeing the TV show as well. I thought it was really good. It was really good for sure. But if you guys are watching anything in particular, let me know. If you got any recommendations, because once I finish with The Boys, and Kenobi's only got a couple of episodes left as well, I'll have to move on to something else. But the lads are ready. Let's load into this. I'll have a quick spider in. And here we go. It is double duck madness. In fact, it is quad duck madness. Both these players have brought an Exalted Lord of Change, as well as both bring in a little birdie with them. So they've both gone for different lead generals, though. One's gone for Metal, one's gone for Tzeentch. Apart from that, the builds are almost identical. We have 2 Spawn on either side. We have 2 Forsaken on either side. We have 1 Blue Horror on one side and 2 on the other. I guess their Lord is a little bit cheaper. So incredibly close builds so far. Definitely would like to see a Chaos Warhorse and so on in action. I think Doom Knights can do a bit of a number here as well. Oh, show. Let's delve into this. So the blue forces of Tzeentch are going to be controlled by Logic. We do have a Tzeentch cast of him with blue and purple fire, which is good to see. Apart from that, double blue horrors on the ground, double Chaos Spawn, double Forsaken. Pretty awesome stuff. And a Lord of Pain. The forces against him is basically the same. Only 1 blue horror instead of 2, double Forsaken, double Spawn of Tzeentch, double Big Board up in the sky, but he has the Exalted Lord of Metal coming in with Plague of Rust, interesting enough, I guess to take down Knights and Doom Knights. That's a pretty cool pick, and Transmutation of Lead. Pretty cool stuff. Don't get to see Transmutation of Lead that often. Often we see a final Transmutation and so on, so cool to see a bit of a difference there. A bit of a difference. Without further ado, we get this underway when these guys are ready. Looks like they're both pretty much set up anyway. Pretty cool map, very open, good for artillery pieces, but of course Tzeentch is a lot more close range missile pressure, so I'm expecting it to be a bit of a absolute carnage and destruction fight in the middle here, with bodies stacking on either side. I think both Tzeentch and Khorne will be rather happy after this one. Probably the other Chaos Gods as well, just because it's like, hey, you're killing your own troops, that will only make us more powerful. Pretty cool map as well. I do really like the way they've done the artwork on a lot of these maps in general. I would like to see though on certain maps, like in the Khorne maps for example, you could have like a head in the clouds or something, like watching down on the confrontation. I mean, you could do the same on these maps, but they'd have to be, I guess, like dragon clouds or something for Grand Cathay and so on. So about the colours should have gone purple. It's okay. It's okay. It is blue versus red. This is the way we're going to do this. Which was a series back in the day, I think, blue versus red. It was like a Halo series. And let's see what's been spawned for the forces of Ninja. Oh, looks like... Oh, was it Blue Horrors? Something was summoned. Oh, Unit of Furies was summoned by Ninja. And on the side of Logic, he is also summoning something, but this time it is Pink Horrors, looking to try to bring the range superiority to the battlefield. And yeah, just bird-on-bird action. This is going to be some wild stuff. It's going to be pretty good for Logic as far as the sniping potential goes. The problem he's going to have is the shields are going to absorb basically all the damage. So he has to pop both, and it looks like he's actually split up the shots. Oh, no, he has gone all in one. Okay, nice damage to Lord of Change. Now he can get nice and aggressive and move into hand-to-hand combat. There could be a transmutation of lead go down, though, which would swing that relatively effectively in favor of Ninja. But really, if he pulls out of this, he's taking a bit of damage as Lord of Change for 2 spells. Was it worth it? I mean, they're getting some pretty good work on him now. The pink and blue horrors are really lighting his ass up on fire. Down to about half HP. And another fire coming in. Oh my god, that duck is getting roasted. Logic fancies duck rolls tonight. My god, doing some big damage there straight out the gate. Forsaken are moving forward into the bombardment of plasma grenades, which will be haunting their dreams. Looks like the blue horrors were rotating to try to take down this Lord of Change, who will most likely get his shield back now. Big birds for Logic are flying idly in the sky. Chaos Furies on Fury action, summon the summon. Forsaken are being dragged back here. Looks like Logic's going to retreat behind his Forsaken. Love a little bit of micro here. Going to move forward, tank the enemy, and allow his ranged troops to really dominate. And he's getting his spawn in slightly first, which of course will help turn the tide of battle. Another blue flyer is going to go in, aiming at the Lord of Change. Their shields do replenish a lot slower now, so he's yet been able to replenish that. Love to see his other Lord of Change as well get nice and aggressive and start bullying at the ground game here. We are going to get a very well-placed transmutation of lead as hunted down a lot of these troops. The Chaos Furies will be swooping upon the enemy Granadas, which is not a bad idea. And look at this firepower from the blue and pink horrors just rippling into the enemy. Pink fire goes down, but with the shields, it won't do that much significant damage. And a big mistake, it looks like he felt like he was safe with his big birds in the sky over here. And the blue horrors are lighting at this Lord of Change on fire. And another blue fire comes in, and the duck doth fall. Look at our beautiful baby boy collapse on the ground. It is a sad day for ducks all around the world. And now what Logic needs to do, take his 2 ducks and just going to combat the enemy one. Really force them back and overwhelm them. Blue horrors are unleashing hell into this Lord of Change as well. And this is a massive boon early games for Logic, sorry, not Ninja. He's on the back foot. Look at that damage value-wise, about 2,000 gold value difference so far. We have the gun line active as well. It's only going to get worse and worse from here, you would think. Double duck madness, or a trio of ducks, a duck sandwich. Because our Lord of Change is getting a little bit beat down here in the middle. This is just madness. This looks like, this is basically what my dreams look like. Just ducks flying all over the place, magic booming around, and lots of violence. We do have some flamers being brought into action by Ninja. He has some Furies to help protect them as well. Looks like some are floating out to this left-hand side, perhaps wide. A unit is coming through the trees here. We also have pink horrors on arrival. Spawn are moving up to objective 1. Lovely capping units, and take quite a lot to drag them off. You can't simply move blue horrors to go take them down. Looks like no one has the middle objective at the moment. We are going to get yet another final transmutation. That is kind of keeping Ninja in this. Is these big air effect spells. Pink horrors, though, are unleashing hell. It looks like his Lord is most likely going to go down relatively soon. The poor Flamers do get hit by a bolt. That's going to strip their shields just in time for Furies to land. No, the Furies go the other way. It looks like they got bogged down, unfortunately. There they go. Now they're going to be attacking the Flamers. The pink horrors should be able to support where possible. Somehow, this evil Dark Lord is still alive. Transmutation is probably going to be the Finns keeping him in place here. 19 melee attack. That's pretty poor stuff. He's actually able to get up into the skies. Far objective has been capped by Logic, middle one by Ninja, and objective 3 capped by no one so far. And it looks like in the middle once again we still have the air effect spells coming in by Logic's caster, who is somehow still alive. Look at him scuttling away to freedom, flapping his little duck wings, trying to get anywhere to safety. Probably worth bringing him off the battlefield now so you don't get that in penalty for losing your general. Furies are about to swarm him though, and I think that will be the end of the Lord. And now the Exiled Lord of Change and this Lord of Change can get nice and aggressive on the enemy, but there are Screamers nearby. Logic is pushing forward towards the middle objective now, though a decent amount of Ninja's ground force was able to survive that blob fight and fall back, and he is once again going to start taking an early ticket lead, perhaps if he can get some forces over to his home objective. Blue horrors are on the approach right now. Once again, Logic's gone for the different style of play of damage first, objectives later, and he's done that in both the previous games with some success and some failure. Lord of Change gets forced down. Furies are able to overwhelm him. Pink horrors will move up now and start unleashing hell upon the spawn, it seems. They've got bigger problems, though, as Forsaken do start to bomb rush into them. We get a lovely summon by Logic of the Chaos Furies. They can certainly bomb rush and chase away the pink horrors. And now just an infantry core fight, they do indeed need to win. And they are starting to cap the middle objective briefly before it goes back into the hands of Ninja there. Objective 1, we've got a unit Forsaken here and Spawn. I would definitely move the Spawn mode, oh no, Spawn the Forsaken most likely, to help out Objective 2, because it's quite a close fight there. Value-wise though, Logic's doing great. He's 3,000 and a bit points in advantage. although the Blue Horrors will be moving up towards Objective 3 now. Tickets are relatively even, at least at the moment. The Big Ducks are getting down and dirty, starting to overwhelm the position of Ninja on this central post. It seems like the Pink Horrors will be able to beat back the Forsaken just about. The Forsaken were very beat up when the fighting did start, so Pink Horrors should be able to overwhelm them. Looks like Spawn are going to be moving over into the middle. Actually, no, it looks like one of these units is moving. It looks like, oh, Forsaken are moving over now to the central objective. Blue Horrors do unleash hell upon the Chaos Furies and some pretty big damage there. The Forsaken as well are starting to struggle a little bit. Objective 2 is now being claimed by Logic. He has some Forsaken moving in. Pink Horrors as well are bringing the pain. Looks like he may lose his Lord of Change, though. Not built for combat, the Lord of Change, like the Exalted Lord is. He just wanted to, you know, please Papa, and say, I can do it too. Look at me, I can fight in combat. And then he kind of got his ass kicked, and he's being beat up pretty poorly here. But he's used a lot of his magic anyway, so using him in combat like this is something I definitely approve of. Pink Fire goes down the line on the Blue Horrors. That will strip their shields from them if there's going to be a bit of an alpha strike. Triple Blue Horrors have been sent by Ninja, though, to apply pressure to the objectives. He's about to cap Objective 3, but likewise, he is significantly losing Objective 2 now. And it looks like that slower approach from Logic is really starting to pay off quite a lot, as he's going to be getting a bit of an advantage in the mid-game here. A load of Pink Horror shots do go up at the Screamers, doing some big work, which you like to see. As our Lord of Change is still alive. Lots of Blue Horrors bunched up together. We can get some Pink Fires on them. That'd be quite tasty. There's also a load of Furies being summoned by Logic. He's been a big fan of them, I think, since launch. I remember him bringing a load of Furies to the fight. And he's been using them really good so far, utilising their abilities throughout the course of this best of 3. Middle objective is now in the hands of Logic. He has Pink Horror support. They can station themselves behind Forsaken and do some lovely long-range damage. Spawn on Objective 1 is great. It looks like we have Blue Horrors moving in as well. I'd like to see maybe a bit of a press for a treble cap. There's so much gold value advantage to Logic right now. I think it may be worth really trying to hit the pedal to the metal, get for a triple cap, and overwhelm the opponent's ground forces. Fury's doing a decent job just hounding and harassing the Blue Horrors, who are unfortunately going to receive more damage from the skies. Ninja's stacking a bit of resources, perhaps trying to get a couple of units in the game at the same time to get back into this, but Logic is looking dominant right now. Looks like the Spawn did get withdrawn from the battlefield. They were a little bit beaten up there. And we've got some Blue Horrors moving to help cap the objectives. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be so hard for Ninja to get back into this. He's not going to be allowed to get much comeback mechanic anymore, like comeback bonus. So if we see a big trip and then like the infantry are overrunning the enemy, it's going to be so hard for Ninja to find a way back into this. As you can see, the Blue Horrors are getting carved to pieces by Chaos Furies. The fact the Lord of Change is still alive for Logic. Wait, this is a new Lord of Change. He must have got brought back. He's like full health. Amazing. But the fact he has the Exalted Lord of Change in here means it's going to be really rough, I think, for Ninja just to get out of his deployment zone anymore. He does summon some Chaos Knights, but he has no other units on the battlefield. I think it's going to be a sweet farewell to a Ninja here, perhaps. Forsaken as well as Furies, we're going to jump these Blue Horrors, cap objective number 3 here. And there's just so much more advantage for Logic right now on the battlefield. You never know, Ninja might be able to come back and do some sneaky comeback ploys. Chaos Knights are waiting at the moment to get more friends on the battlefield before pitching for an objective. Best objective, I guess, would be Objective 1, or desperately cling on to your home objective here and lap around and try to beat back these pesky Furies and Forsaken. They're kind of doing a really nice job just devouring the evil jelly beans of goodness. And yeah, Blue Horrors, they can fight, but they can't fight on two fronts, I'm afraid. And it looks like they are deteriorating rather quickly. That's going to allow Logic just to capture Objective 3 basically unimpeded with the Forsaken. And with a Troll Cap, it's looking real rough. He's also pushing in to Ninja's deployment zone right here. And with the Big Bird, he should hopefully be able to overwhelm the Chaos Knights, you would think. Lovely Pink Fire goes on the line on the Blue Horrors. And that'll allow the Lord of Change to really start to wrap this one up. Pink Horrors are moving up to fight as well, but there's just more and more reinforcements pouring on the battlefield from Logic. He kind of has more supplies as well, which is pretty scary stuff. And there's not really going to be any comeback bonus just yet for Ninja. Blue Horrors move on as well to try to get in on the action. Spawn are beating off some Forsaken, which they're not Slaanesh, so I don't enjoy it. Being forced back off Objective 1. And it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I don't know what you guys think, but I seem to think this is a losing battle now for Ninja. I mean, the Forsaken are capping Objective 3. We have Furies flying around, and the Chaos Knights attempting to push out their deployment zone, but it's looking real rough. They do get on top of the Pink Horrors, but the Double Bird will reign supreme, proving for once and for all 3 ducks is better than 2, because he did re-summon 1. And we do have a bit of a push coming from Ninja. We got Blue Horrors on the battlefield. We have Pink Horrors as well. Oh no, just Blue Horrors. So Double Blue Horrors attempting to come in, but the Furies will bog them down and just keep them away. from aiding the assault of the Chaos Knights here and other units. And it is going to be a mid-game triple cap from Logic here. Objective 3 does seem like it's going to be his. And it's only a matter of time at this point. So I hope you're watching World Beater. I hope you're aware of the threat you now face in the finals. It will be a Logic versus World Beater final for sure. There's no way the force of the Red Zinch can get back in here. It's going to scrap to the end, which you've got to respect. The Blue Horrors are getting overwhelmed by the little big birds, though. And with Triple Cap, it won't be long before those tickets become overwhelming. Hail Spawn Vibe on the right-hand side, looking to protect any sneaky back caps. There are some Flamers coming into the battlefield. Might be able to get off 1 or 2 big licks on to the Lord of Change. Looks like they do some not great damage. They miss, unfortunately, most of their shots. They are now going to get a full volley off. Hopefully, this will do some nice damage. Yeah, not bad whatsoever. Doing some pretty good work. Really going for a bit of a roast duck vibe here, but it will be a little bit too little too late. Even more Blue Horrors getting aggressive, pushing into the enemy deployment zone, looking to overwhelm them, and we have just more infantry. All Logic needs to do now is swarm the objectives with infantry, and there won't be enough time for a comeback from Ninja. The mighty Pink Horrors are trying their best here in combat against Blue Horrors. Looks like they're going to succeed. Some Spawn have been summoned as well, and looks like they will be able to drag down this Lord of Change once more. It was all as planned, though. The Exalted Lord wanted him out of the way so he couldn't contest his leadership on the battlefield. And it looks like, yeah, tickets 4,300. It's all over. I don't want to say it's all over, before the battle's completely done. Ninja obviously is scrapping to the end, trying to get back into it, but there is zero hope at this point, I think. We've got more Spawn moving up to pin the enemy in their deployment zone. And it looks like we did get some more reinforcements coming in. More Spawn as well, just as much infantry as physically possible from Logic. And though the Flamers may fire, it's going to be more of a wet squelch than a victorious roar from them as they get overwhelmed. And even the Exiled Lord of Change is having a whale of a time. He's about to get hit by a big Zinchi bolt. The Betrayal also comes in with some fire of his own, just driving away the Flamers and doing some nice damage there in the end. So good work for sure. 4,800 and 4,900 tickets now. It's ticking up pretty damn quickly to 2,160. It was a close game in the mid-game. It was the most one-sided game we've had from these guys in the best of threes, though. And Logic will be moving through with a 2-1 victory over Ninja, bouncing back from that early loss to now take on World Beater in the finals. With 1 pick, 1 ban, best of 3, all that good standard stuff. And well played. 2.6k on the Exiled Lord, 1.4k on the Lord of Change, compared to 500 value and 43. Yeah, the Battle of the Ducks early on really favoured Logic, and I think that's one of the reasons he was so dominant in the latter stages of the battle. Well, second did okay, 1.7k though on the Blue Horrors. That's some really nice work. And yeah, lovely play all around. I think like the Pink Horrors were quite pivotal, 1.6k value on them, and the Air Corps as well did pretty extreme stuff. The Forsaken, 1,000 value here and there, 1,000 value for the Spawn. I mean, they did okay work for Ninja. Flamers did okay, but yeah, unfortunately, once they got picked apart, it was then just kind of getting pushed back into a Spawn and overwhelmed. Well played to these lads. Awesome showing. Let's quickly update the scoreboard. Logic did get a juicy 2-1 victory there. I'll wait for Wellbeard to hop in before we change the score. Some work. So we have admin. Awesome stuff. Cool. GG. That was a great best of 3 for sure. So let's message World Beater. You're up, bud. You are up, bud. And let's get this cracking. It is going to be Galleon's Cove for map number 1. It'd be a 1 pick, 1 ban. What do you think about the lack of anti-large in the Nurgle army? I don't think personally I don't think the Great Unclean One should get anti-large. I think he's already like monstrously overpowered. Or very, very powerful, but they definitely need more anti-large for sure. Maybe give like the Pox Riders anti-large or something. Because you've already got the base, they do the basically the same job as the basic Toads. So I think given the more expensive ones, anti-large could be good. Could be good. One pick. One ban. World 2. Pick. Cool. Wait on there, pick some bans. But here's my 2 cents on it. I feel like they need anti-large. I'd give it to Foxfire, so I wouldn't give it to the Great Unclean one. I think he's very, very powerful already. Oh, unless you mean the basic Great Unclean one, I suppose. So it looks like World Beater is going to go Nurgle and a ban Tzeentch. Not a bad idea. Getting Tzeentch off the table, particularly when you're Nurgle. My heart of hearts tells me that Logic should also go Nurgle. We get a bit of Nurgle on Nurgle action. But... Quack quack, what's up, Blackthorn? How's it going, champ? Hope you're all good in the hood. We've had a real fun tournament so far. You missed both semi-finals, sadly. Ninja put on an absolute performance. One of the best performances I've seen him do on live stream. He went down 2-1 to Logic, but very close games. The last game was a bit over, but the first 2 games were very close. And then World Beater as well had some great games against Dragonborn. All the games have been really hotly contested today. So hopefully, into the final, we'll have the same. And it is a Logic versus World Beater. Let's update the scoreboard. Let us update the scoreboard. Up these both back down to 0. And let's change the other side. Oh, whoa. Oh, there we go. And this is once again a best of 3. There we go. World Beater versus Logic. That's it up. Cool. Ogres versus Nurgle. I'm excited. I'm very excited. What do you think they should do with reworking Warriors of Chaos? More variety in playstyle. They can rush and skirmish cavalry, and that's about it. So yeah, I'd like to see some mingling between demons and chaos myself, but not too much that the factions become pointless. But a little bit more mingling and a bit more versatility, and make Kolek brokenly OP. Those are my dreams. Those are my dreams. So we're very going to quickly go grab a glass of water. So I'll be right back in a minute. I'll drop a message just in case anyone joins late and wonders why I'm not speaking. Be right back in 1 min. Grabbing. Cool. I'm going to leave, now Blackthorn's arrived, I'm going to leave Blackthorn in charge while I quickly go grab another glass of water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. We're just waiting for these guys to pick their armies. So see you guys in 2 seconds. I have returned, chat. I have returned. Oh, I also really quickly rammed in a packet of crisps. I was so hungry. So, should be a good game though. I love Team Logic. Literally is my housemate, so I walked by him and he seems pumped up to be in the final. So it should be a good game. World Beat is a very tough champion to face though, so it's not gonna be easy whatsoever. Yes, King Blackthorn, he shall rule in these realms. Shall rule forever. If you guys enjoying the stream, by the way, feel free to like and subscribe. Both things help out the channel massively. And if you want to support, there is a link down below to Patreon. You become a member on the channel as well, and all that good standard YouTube crap. Yeah, if you're enjoying them and whatnot. And that's why Blackthorn has the really cool little logo next to his name, is because he's a member of the channel. He's a member of the Mighty Duck Legion. Looks like World Beater is ready. Guys are working so far. Ooh, I like that. Oh yeah. Oh baby. I was going to ban double cultist at the start of the tournament and I forgot to do it, so we're allowing it for now. Like Hontai Rule says, World Beater, you're too OP. You're simply too OP to rule. It would be carnage. Blackthorn rules with like an iron grip. If anyone goes out of line, he just bans them instantly. Executed by the Duck Inquisition. World Beater, I feel like you'd get too hungry. Being the World Beater, you'd want to conquer the entire Earth. Which is the Great Duck plan in the long run. We must be careful before we announce our plans to the world. So here we go, Galleon's Cove, good fun map in general. Ogres, Nurgle, it's gonna be an absolute grind there. And it is, oh these hunters are on Stonehorns, my god, alright, let's get in position. It is a double Stonehorn Hunter, which is very cool. And have a load of Noblars, and also a load of Ogre Bulls, pretty cool stuff. We then have a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, kind of Troll Guts and Bone Crusher. These are going to be really hard for Nurgle to deal with, actually. They've got lots of armor, and Nurgle aren't good against anti-large. For the Force of Nurgle, we have a load of Plague Bearers. It's basically the same build he brought before. So Infinite Plague Bearers, we have the Festering Stooges, with a Herald on his little toilet seat, and double Cultist of Nurgle. He's going to be coming in today with a Stream of Corruption, Fleshy Abundance, and the Lucas ability, Air Effect Heal. Really good fun stuff. I don't know how he's going to deal effectively with the Stonehorns, but he might just be able to outlive the Ogres and cap the objectives, I suppose, which is a very good way of doing it. The Duck Hammer, it has it is as the prophecy foretold, for sure. I can agree with double Cultist, just ban double summon. Oh yeah, exactly. I really want them to nerf summon, man, or Cultist. Either cap them at 1 or change the ability. I'm very tired of seeing double Cultists in like every matchup. There's almost no opportunity where you don't want to bring them. Oh, they're both ready to rumble. Let me drop them a message on Discord, just let them know they don't have to wait for me. Oh, I heard them. Oh, looks like they're saying good luck, have fun in the DVD clan chat. And here we go. You love the Herald on his throne? Man, he looks so cool. He's so tanky like this as well. It's a really underrated mount piece. You just don't want him sniped. It also allows him to pull and phase through trees, which is pretty cool. Look at the little Nurglings like trying to carry him. They can't even walk in a straight line. They're just bumping into trees, bumping into the undergrowth. So it looks like Logic is going to split his force into 2, which is interesting enough. Wants to make sure if he's going to commit to a fight to get both forces together for it. But if he can split the Nurgle in force, that's going to be quite a good idea as well. We've got some spawn being summoned in by the mighty World Beater here. Like Ogres, considering contesting the middle, it looks like they've got a big contingent going out to Objective 3. Stonehorn is going to be wrapping around towards that central objective. They do have their long-range shots as well. Might be decent against the Herald, I'm not sure. They might be able to ensnare him and do some decent work. Now, it looks like we have a load of Noblars here. 2 Noblars going towards Objective 1, 2 Noblars going towards Objective 3. Everything else is looking to have a big fat scrap on the central objective. And I assume then try to kind of pull Nurgle apart from either side. Is the throne faster than the Footlord? Probably, I'd assume so. Speed 28. We'll have to check at some point else. Looks like the Hunters got a couple of throws in, maybe aiming at the Cultists or something. Doesn't seem like they hit anything of note. No, they didn't hit anything, actually. So whatever they aimed at, they completely missed. Stonehorn and Ogre Balls are moving around to Objective 2. 3 units on Objective 3, which is quite a lot of units there, but hey, we'll guarantee Logic should indeed cap it. And so a load of other forces now moving up towards Objective 1. Stonehorn to continue to kite back and just pull Nurgle apart. I quite like this by Logic, actually. You can see he's forcing Worldbeard to commit all his army to the middle, and then he's just not going to fight it. He's just going to kite it, pop in some shots now and again, aiming at the Cultists, doing some pretty decent damage actually there, and move all his other forces to the wings. Now, something he's going to be careful about. If Nurgle commit over half their force to one of these top objectives, he's going to have to then move a lot of his resources to contest the middle, otherwise, you know, it's going to be a lose-lose situation. Looks like he's summoned in the Powder Guts. World Beater has indeed summoned in some Spawn of Nurgle, and they came in a while ago. Oh no, he's got Spawn of Nurgle, interesting. Stonehorns continue to try to poke down the Cultists. Not a bad play here. If they can actually get him off the battlefield, by the time the summon would be useful, that's going to be quite nice, but it's really hard to actually take him down and assassinate him for good. Looks like the Powder Guts are peppering in, doing some big burst damage to the Spawn actually initially. And yeah, Nurgle, they can cap Objective 2 all they want, but they're definitely going to have to split up their forces at some point. They're kind of getting pounded from range, and Objective 1 looks like it's going to be going the mighty way of Logic. Likewise is Objective 3. There's some Nurglings going over here, but one unit of Nurglings isn't going to do too much realistically, I don't think, to you know, really contend him with any of this. Noblars as well as the Ogre Balls should be enough to overwhelm them. The huge force in the middle has taken a little bit of damage. The Herald has been poked, the infantry has been poked, and now it looks like we do have the Festering Stooges overextending and pushing forward, which isn't a bad idea though, just to fend off these Powder Guts, who are getting some nice licks here and there. Objective 1 is going to be falling to the Ogre Kingdoms, likewise is Objective number 3. Nurglings are trying their hardest, but it's simply not going to be enough. And now it looks like the Nurgle player, now he's captured Objective 2, is going to start to push out. He's keeping a large contingent on number 2, and now moving a large force out here to fight number 3. The Stooges are able to regenerate, of course, a lot of damage they take, so not the worst units to be shot by the Powder Guts, but boy oh boy, they're taking some big damage right now. And if you're gonna kill them, you might as well, you know, go all in and try to take them out in one go. The Stonehorns are retreating. I'd like to see the Stonehorns actually rotate around a little bit, perhaps able to protect Objective at number 3. The Nurglings have been overwhelmed though by Ogre Balls. There's a big fight going on in the middle. It looks like the Ogre Balls are trying to hold back a tide of the enemy. Big shots are being launched in though by the Hunter. Those javelin throws as he bounds gleefully into combat, aiming at the Herald. Trust me, the Herald will not die though. These are two troops who just don't like death. They just hold the line for 55 years. Ogre Ball Iron Fists are moving up as well. We do get a big Bone Crusher going down on the Festering Stooges. Very hard unit to snipe though, but the Ogres are trying their best. Pistols are also shooting in, adding to the carnage, so they are hit by a Curse of the Slug. And there's no pressure on Objective 1 just yet. There's some hibbity-hobbity toads though, and Forsaken waiting in the wings, looking to get involved in the action. The Hunters as well are using their ammunition before delving into combat, which is a smart idea, though they are better obviously at a combat utility piece. Ogre Ball Iron Fists and Noble Trappers can move up now into combat. Looks like they're kind of vibing here. Micro was kind of a priority elsewhere, it would seem. But lovely play by Worldbeater. I love this. He's moving over towards Objective 3. Force pathing his way through these Plague Bearers. And that's going to either force Logic to disengage from this blob fight and move some troops around, or it's going to make him lose that objective, though there is Ogre Balls moving up towards the enemy deployment zone to hound and harass where possible. In the middle here, looks like we are finally going to get that summon going in. It's aiming at the Powder Guts, who've done some really nice damage so far. The Stonehorn has moved into combat, and we're going to get yet another Bone Crusher go down. And it's going to be very well timed there by Logic. Catching out the Forsaken, doing some decent work. Nurgle, again, aggressive though. And this is all you need to do with Nurgle. Everyone thinks because they're slow you have to be passive. It's the opposite. Because they're slow, you need to get aggressive and fight the enemy on your terms in their deployment zone at all times if possible. Plague Bearers have been summoned to overwhelm the Noblar Trappers. The Hunter is doing a decent job in the middle, just bogging down all these units alongside the Noblars. Damage value-wise, Logic is nearly double in the lead on the gold damage value front. He is looking like he may lose Objective 3 here, though. It is starting to be claimed by the enemy. He's ahead on the tickets, but army-wise in the battlefield, I'd actually say Worldbeater is in a state of advantage. The Stonehorns struggle to take down the single entities quickly enough. Powder Guts are doing a lovely job right now, and it looks like the middle is relatively contested, but pretty much Nurgle have got their hand-grubby little mitts on it. This objective is very close to being pulled into the hands of Nurgle, but it is capped and stopped there by Logic as the Ogre Balls come in and double Trappers. If they get their range attacks on the Plague Bearers, that's going to do some devastating work. However, Logic is starting to lose ground in the middle here. It's a very grindy fight, as you'd expect, between a Stonehorn-led Ogre build and the Nurgle forces, but the Herald is able to bust through, and there's going to be a lot of forces starting to pour pressure onto Objective 3. Logic's going to have to react quickly and early to try and stop that, or you can apply pressure to the middle here. And it looks like World Beater, I just love this play by World Beater, just consistently pushing up, shutting down the Powder Guts there, and look at this presence he now has on the battlefield. Things are looking pretty good for him, despite the fact he has the ticket disadvantage. We also have double Forsaken. They will rip and tear into the Noblar Trappers like no tomorrow, and it looks like Logic has lost the center here as well with his Ogre Kingdom forces. Stonehorns are jumping around up to no good, starting trouble in the neighborhood, but Nurgle is starting to claw back into this game, still 2,000 tickets behind, and, you know, losing a bit of ground in the middle, but nothing too crazy right now. We cool to see some of these forces from Objective 1, a couple of the Noblars perhaps, move around and start applying pressure to Objective 2, as they may ease the pressure that World Beater is popping on number 3, because there's so much right now going into it. World Beater's also got more resources as well as more army at the moment. He's stacking those resources nicely here. He is down about 50% of the tickets there, 2,450 to 1,200. He is about to start rectifying that situation. Forsaken jump on top of Trappers. We have Ogre Balls looking to countercharge, but also with the reinforcements coming through from the middle. Now those floodgates are opened. This objective is looking really rough for the forces of the Ogre Kingdoms. Hunter can pile back though and do some good work to the Forsaken if he bumps in there and does some big rear attacks. I can certainly see that objective maybe holding for now, but it's certainly a tough fight. In the center, the Stonehorn is holding the enemy back, but he's holding them back from his deployment zone rather than on the objective. Ogre Balls and Saber Tusks have been summoned. We also have Powder Guts unleashing hell into this objective. Perhaps there is a chance for a bit of a push here in the middle, particularly if you get reinforcements from the flanks. Objective 3 is currently falling, though, into the hands of Nurgle, and there's a big tide. Whoosh, they scream as they charge into the middle here, overwhelming the little Noblars who wish they could. Stonehorn does move in, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually cap this objective. Scoreboard, by the way. Oh, no, it's a scoreboard wrong. Okay, that's fine. As long as it's not a screen blocker up, I don't mind. So Hunter's doing... Wait, is the scoreboard up? No, scoreboard should be fine. It should be 1-1. Right? Should be up, I think. I think it should be fine. But anyway, the Hunter is jumping around up to no good, trying to spot the Ogre Balls. They are being overwhelmed though. The Spawn are getting taken down by Trappers, but the Trappers are forced off by the Herald. Double Saber Tucks are being summoned, and it looks like Objective 3 is just about holding here for the force of Logic and his Ogre Kingdoms. But look at the dominance in the middle by Nurgle. They have so many forces. If they can use this dominance to cap Objective 1, they're going to be in a fantastic situation going into the late game. But they do need to start capping soon. Logic holding on to Objective 3 is really rough for them. So it seems like once again, now Nurgle is starting to cap it again. And it's a very close fight here. The Stonehorn's doing a good job, but the Noblars have been forced back. There are some reinforcements in the form of Ogre Balls who can be brought back from the edge of the battlefield into the action. But yeah, with a hill going down, World Beater is grinding at this fight out. Now, is it worth fighting here? Or is it worth trying to kind of saturate and corner camp almost Objective 1? It's tough to say. I feel like Nurgle are dominant right now. Dominant. They have such a larger army. Okay, the Stonehorns are unkillable for them, but this is, you know, domination. It's not land battles. They can be unkillable all they want if they can't hold the objectives. Looks like the Lord is going to punch himself in the head, which is fine. Plague Bearers will be getting forced back there. Scoreboard says 0-all, but close enough. Is it not 0-all? Isn't this game 1? I might be tripping. I don't know. I'll have a double check afterwards. Don't worry about it. I'll look at the situation. But thanks, guys, for popping the heads up there. So now the Hunter is trying his best. Objective 3 is being hotly contested still. I really think, despite having the ticket advantage here, the Nurgle players are just in such a better situation. Like, such a better situation right now. It's all going to come down to, can Logic hold Objective 1? And judging by the armies on the battlefield, it does not seem likely. A lot of those summons have gone now, and Logic's doing the right thing by pushing forward and applying pressure to Objective 2. He needs to slowly trickle forces over to Objective 1 and make sure he's, you know, got enough here to hold it in case there's a big push. But moving forces into the middle objective like this and contesting it is exactly what he should be doing. And with the so much Nurgle forces over on Objective 3, he might actually be able to get a sneaky cap on too, or at least force his opponent to send a load of reinforcements this way, and, you know, to hold this objective, which I like quite a bit. With the Noblar Trappers in here, it's still not quite enough to cap this objective, it would seem, though. There's Ogre Balls and a Hunter who can move in, and perhaps then there'd be a lot of pressure And it looks like we've got Plague Bearers being moved in by World Beaters. This is what I mean. He probably would have sent them up to Objective 1 to get the cap, but he can't because there's so many Ogre forces in the middle. And what the Nurgle player needs to do now is get all these units on Objective 3, move them to the center to beat this army, and then move them quickly up to Objective 1 because it is a very hotly contested fight at the moment. Noblar Trappers are vibing. Looks like they're going to counter the Plague Bearers where possible. Sabertooth packs have moved in to help their Noblar buddies, and it looks like Objective 2 is actually starting to go in favor of Logic. Can he dream? Can he dare to dream to hold on here? Very close fight. If he caps Objective 2, it is all over. Far too many Ogre units have, not Ogre units, Nurgle units have been left on Objective 3. There's a Stonehorn here. They've been kind of lulled into the trap of trying to assassinate him. But it's, you know, gone down. Right, they've killed the Stonehorn, but look at how much time it took them to drag him down. And now they're trying to rush over to Objective 2. They will have enough to hold it, but that means they won't have enough time to cap Objective 1, maybe. There's still time left. Remember, it's only a single cap for Logic at the moment, despite the pressure on Objective 2, meaning his tickets are going up really, really slowly, but he's pushing hard right now. We have Ogre Balls moving into the middle. We have Noblar Trappers fighting hard. Stonehorn might have enough about him here, but look at this. The tide of Nurgle is swooping back towards Objective 2. We have Spawn on the way. We have Plague Bearers on the way. There's a load of forces, though, idle up here for the Ogre Kingdoms. They can move down. They probably can't apply pressure to number 3, realistically, but it would be lovely to see them back in the game a little bit earlier on. I really think World Beater has to be pushing Objective 1 now, though. Like, he needs to be pushing this early. Objective 2 is back and forth, though, so I understand his reluctance to do this. If I'm Logic, though, I'm starting to move units over to Objective 1, like all my summons, my Lord, everything over there, because you're going to have enemies on arrival. And yeah, you can leave your force here and fight for this objective, but make sure you can stabilize that left-hand side, and at least make it hard for your opponent to cap it. Because right now, a single unit of Forsaken like this could probably move up and kill both these Noblars. Although it looks like World Beater is getting real tunnel vision on focusing on Objective 2, and this is something we saw the opposite of in the first semi-final, where his opponent, Dragonborn, was outscoring him and doing really good work in the damage department, but he didn't use good map control, and that was how World Beater was... I'm messing up on my words now. That's how World Beater was able to get into the game and really be victorious. But it looks like this time, Logic is the one who's done a bit better map control. He is going to hold Objective 1 and claim victory. The central point of interest is very, very closely contested, but Logic is just about gonna scrap it. Absolutely insane game of domination there. Insane. Whew. I'm saving that one. That can just be saved as that. That was amazing. That was crazy stuff. What a start to our final. What a start. Every game's been so good. It's been so good. So well played there to Logic and World Beater. That was just wild stuff there. Floor Master 1.4k value. Hunters 2.5k, 2 and 6k. They were a real clutch pick. They held for so long. Powder got to a lovely inclusion as well. 2.3. The amount of utility damage they can do in the mid to late game is really second to none. Well, the Noblar Trappers did okay as well. Just being a pain in the butt. And lovely battlefield control by Logic. Just about. They got real squeaky bum time, but he just about managed to do it. 2k for the Festering Stooges is pretty scary stuff. Of course, the Coldest are always a pain in the butt as well. The infantry did suffer a little bit. 1.7k, 1k, 1 cash. You know, they did pretty good. The Nurgle infantry. 1,000 on a unit of spawn as well. Yeah, not bad whatsoever. Not bad, but alas, it was a victory there for the mighty Logic. We will be moving on now to the crossing of the Sea of Thought. Let me quickly see what you guys are talking about. No, the scoreboard should be fine. It's, yeah, Logic versus World Beater. And it's 1-0, I believe. Unless I'm, like, going crazy, which, you know, may have been happening for a while anyway. We're being honest about it. GG. That was a very good game. World Beater, like, had the comeback on his side initially, and then Logic just about clawed it on. Just about. Oh, you thought Logic was facing Ninja, no worry. You're back at work, not 100% on Warhammer. No worries, man. I appreciate you just, like, chilling out and vibing with us, man. Hope work's not too stressful for you. GG, well played indeed, Blackthorn. That was, honestly, some crazy stuff. The Nurgle and Speed, the power of the multi-tiny flopping legs. I love it. I've got a feeling Logic's going to want to play Nurgle. They were like his main faction before, but he did lose with Nurgle in the first semi-final, so chance we could see Khorne here as well. He is picking and banning first. There's one pick, one ban. I think it's Logic pick this time. Yes. You pick. Oh, he's already gone. He's gone Khorne, banning Kislev. What a bad little pick and ban there. What does Wobeat do in this situation? What do you do? Khorne mirror match is honestly what I would probably do if someone banned my Kislev. Probably what I would go for. Make sure you update the scoreboard. Awesome. Have a little sip of our drink while we wait for these boys to sort themselves out as well. Oh, man, I'm getting so hungry. I forgot what it's like doing long streams. My stomach's just like, hey, you've been talking a lot. Want some food? I'm like, yes, give me the nutritions. I say nutrition, so I've got a Mars ice cream waiting for me after this. Oh, okay, it's Khorne versus Ogre Kingdom. Interesting. Interesting. I'm quite excited to see how this one plays out, actually. I feel like Hellforged and stuff and Bloodletters can still be good against Ogres, despite the lack of armor. What's going to be then? Them, Halberds... Did I go Scarp Round? I don't know. As Ogres, I probably will look just to bully in the infantry fight and then bring in 1 or 2 range units. I don't know, how do you guys think this matchup goes? Let's quickly change the end poll. Oh, I don't think we did a poll for that game. Oh well. We'll do a who will win. We'll just do a who will win. Question mark. Who will win? Is it going to be Khorne? Or will it be Ogres? And obviously, I'm sure you guys want Ogres to win, so we get another game out there. But Logic's been doing good in tournaments, man, honestly. He said he was a bit worried, he was very rusty. He hasn't been able to play much recently, had a lot of exams and stuff. But he's done good. I mean, in the last tournament he played on the channel, he won. And he's got 1 foot on the trophy again this time. I do believe World Beater is an Ogre Kingdom main. So this is like his comfort zone, which is what I recommend to basically all players. Like, if you get to the point where you're 1 down in a series, you know, you have to the next game, just go nice and simple. Just go back to what you know, bring your favourite faction, and try and get back into the series. Don't worry too much about the 3rd game, really. Crossing the Sea of Claws, relatively big map, so, you know, the Khorne infantry may struggle, I guess, to get to the objective quickly. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll have to wait and see. I'll put up the poll anyway, guys, so you can vote. You can vote either with your heart or with your head. Either way is absolutely fine. Either way is Judah. Oh, that stretched as well while we wait. Oh. You guys excited for Darktide? And the trailer came out recently. I may do some videos covering Darktide when it actually comes out, because it looks like so much fun. Or maybe I'll just do like 1 or 2 live streams of it. So I'll probably want to get the game in. Yeah, Darktide's one of those games that's up on my horizon. Those like the Shooter Thief game, like a cartoon animated green skin game, which is really fun. Definitely looking forward to playing that as well. And yeah, me and Logic actually planning on doing some Dawn of War games as well, which should be good fun, like on live stream. We've got all the DLCs going off recently, so we've got Winter Assault, Dark Crusade, Soulstorm, all that good fun stuff. So looking forward to doing a little bit of that as well. A little bit of that. But I have been playing the Star Wars Online game, like the MMO RPG, which I don't normally play many of those type of games, and it's been really good fun so far. I don't know how long I'll play it for. I never really like anything which is like a paid subscription, saying that I have Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. The games I don't like paid subscriptions, so I'm doing all the free on it, but it looks like there's like hours and hours of stuff. It's been good fun so far. I'm an evil stiff. I'm choosing all the evil options at all times, and I'll probably do a goody two shoes character as well. Here we go. Khorne versus Ogres. And a lot of this comes down to, yeah, like, Minotaurs will kill their entire faction. But, oh my god, we've got quad lead belchers coming in from World Beater. My god. And honestly, that's fantastic against what Logic's build is there. Logic's got a load of slow halberds, cultists, and Minotaurs. They're going to get butchered by those lead belchers if they engage early. But likewise, we have the summons of the cultists, right? So they might be able to shut down the lead belchers. This is going to really come down to can World Beater protect his lead belchers. And I feel like 4 units is quite a lot to protect. 4 units is definitely quite a lot to protect. Also, I mean, Logic might just split his forces, though. Which would probably help break up the lead belchers, you would think. But let's get back into position. Let's get down and look at the build. So we have Chaos Warriors with halberds, 2 units pushing the left with some Minotaurs, 3 units pushing the right, double cultist, as well as a Herald of Khorne. I'm assuming these guys are both bringing summons. And it's the thing to do, though. Like, there's no reason not to do it, just because it's powerful. The forces of the Ogre Kingdoms, we do have Ogre Bull dual weapons, triple saber tusk pack, lead, and just lead belchers. Yeah, I was about to say who's their lord. It's literally just lead belchers. Quad lead belchers is insane. This is either going to go really well or really badly for World Beater, I think. Like, the problem here is Furies. If Logic has Furies in reserve, and he just summons, like, 3 Furies, it's over. I mean, Saber Tusk packs can defend them, but then can your front line win? I don't know. This is a really awesome map, by the way. It is so cool. To be fighting in, like, the ruins of, like, a desolate outpost in the middle of the snow. I must admit, I love some of the maps. You gotta respect the Gusty Quad Belcher pick for sure, man. Our boy World Beater's, he's current champion as well of my last tournament, so he knows what he's doing, but quad lead belchers is a lot. He does have, like, quad saber tusk pack just to protect them, and I guess he's going to slow push, but my god. That is a risk. It could pay off, though. I think it's actually really good against Logic's opening army. Slow halberds, slow Minotaurs. Yeah, instantly spots the danger, though, and goes for some Furies. He's probably going to save up for like 2 or 3, I think, and then just bomb rush the lead belchers. Interested to see how World Beater plays this. Will he split his army in 2? I probably would. I'd probably keep some of my army in front here, a couple of lead belchers on the high ground, and then move the rest over to objective 1. We'll have to see how he plays the objectives, because I think last game Logic kind of got the upper hand by playing the objectives a bit better, being a bit more objective focused. Marshals are great weapons, man. I love the fact that it comes to this left-hand side. There's so much terrain for them to hide behind. So the lead belchers can't really punish them, and they can do great damage to ogres. But again, the ogre player might not push down there. Might just go for objective 2 and 1. And look at this just roving horde of disgust in this. All the lead belchers are going to be starting to move up. There's no way Logic's main army can fight this, I don't think. Because like half his army is over here. So like, I don't know. I would try and force the fight maybe going back towards the middle. If I'm World Beater, yeah, like pushing around like this is really good. And try to take on half of Logic's army in one go. Rather than fighting, you know, don't split up and fight him on 2 fronts. Fight his one army. Now, Logic may just pull back and not fight that, which would probably be the smart thing to do. But then it means, you know, he's wasting time on objectives. Chaos Warriors halberds are going to move over. Minotaurs as well are currently hiding behind the terrain. And yeah, this is really smart play by World Beater. Moving into the middle objective. If Logic comes down to fight it, then he can rotate his lead belchers around through objective 1 and into objective 2. Heroes are flying high in the skies, getting ready to dominate the enemy where possible. We did an early summon of Bloodletters, interestingly enough, looking just to bomb rush into the enemy and I guess hold them back for as long as possible while he rearranges his own forces. And now he'll jump into the Ogre Bulls, trying to get rid of them and hopefully open up a pocket to push in to the lead belchers. Furies are starting to fall back though. It looks like objective 2 though is going to be quite a nice fight by Logic. He has managed to catch out World Beater's Ogre Bulls with the Minotaurs. Very smart player here by World Beater though. Get the hell out of there. You do not want to be fighting Minotaurs whatsoever. And this is going to open up a little bit of a pocket for Logic to actually claim Objective 2. He's already got his eyes set on Objective 3. And now he can pull back with his main army and kind of hold this gap here. But World Beater, this army is so scary. You can't fight this. There's no way Khorne are going to fight this one-on-one, I don't think. And that's a bit of a problem for World Beater. He needs to split his army. Though it works well together and in tandem, like in domination mode, you can't kind of box it too much. And World Beater in our land battle tournament played really well by mainly bringing box builds and also playing kind of onion builds. And it looks like he's trying to do the same in Domination. It doesn't work quite the same. There's a very different meta between the two game modes. Minotaurs are licking some ice here and hiding it from the lead belt. Just not a bad idea whatsoever. Halberds may have to suck it up and take some damage if they want to cap the objective, but it looks like they're pushing back for now. I guess the cultists could go there. More Chaos Warriors are pushing up towards the enemy deployment zone. Once again, Logic likes that strategy of going into the enemy zone and disrupting their supply lines, which I think is quite smart. Halberds have capped Objective 3. Ogres have capped Objective 1. Objective 2 is about to start being capped, it would seem, maybe by Fleshhounds or these Halberds. You will need to move in and start, you know, suffering the consequences of the lead belchers, but start getting those tickets on board. More Furies have been summoned. We also have Fleshhounds. This is a real nice, fast, mobile core now for the Warriors of Khorne to jump down on the lead belchers and finish them off where possible. It looks like the cultist is going to move onto the objective. He can certainly hide behind this little rock as well. And it looks like lead belchers are floating around to the left side, supported by the Savitas pack. Now the Ogres have claimed Objective 1. I like to see them push down on to number 2 and start getting a load of pressure. You really don't want to get Khorne with a ticket dominant lead. You know, Ogres, and like you kind of get bogged down and ground to dust. Looks like Halberds also pushing into the back line. We do get a cheeky summon of the Bloodletters moving in to try and shut down these lead belchers. It seems like the Savitas pack and Ogre Balls should be able to intercept them, but it's just buying more and more time for Logic to secure Objective 2 and stabilize his battle line. Looks like Bloodletters are desperately trying to chase it down at the lead belchers. Might be worth force marching their way through here. The Ogre Balls are going to intercept them, but just jump on the lead belchers where possible and beat them back. Halberds are going to claim Objective 2, it would seem. Might be worth sending the units up here to kind of like choke point the Ogres. You do have to take a bit of damage on approach. Furies go for a sneaky bomb dive, though. Out of nowhere, they come to RKO the lead belchers. Very quick reaction, though. Snappy play by Worldbeater. World-class reactions there. Into jumps on the Furies with the Savitas pack, and is going to beat them back quite quickly, though. The lead belchers do take significant damage. I would buy time for units to push up, but it looks like currently they're going to be cowering in the most un-Khorne way possible, but honestly, it's a good battle strategy. It looks like lead belchers are continuing being hounded and harassed by the Bloodletters. This must be so frustrating for the lead belchers carrying these blimmin' huge cannons. But it looks like the Bloodletters will indeed go down before they've done any significant damage. Damage value-wise, it looks like Worldbeater is ahead by about 1,000 gold value. Nothing too crazy. We have more Halberds and Fleshhounds well moving out to this far flank. And I think Worldbeater has been a billion times too passive. I'm not really sure why he's allowing himself to be this passive. He's getting a lot of shots down on the Halberds now, though. A bit of a miss micro there by Logic. He's actually got them lined up perfectly to be obliterated. And I definitely think he needs to push into this gap and actually fight the enemy and hold back the lead belchers. Otherwise, they're simply going to sit here, pick him apart from range, soften him up, and then go for a big push in the mid to latter stages of the battle. We have some sneaky Fleshhounds, though, starting to move around the flank. These lead belchers have to be very, very careful. Fleshhounds did get stopped in the front, but yeah, look at the Minotaurs are now getting pinned in by the lead belchers. They either need to get back or get into action. Otherwise, the Ogres are simply going to override the Khorne early dominance of the objectives and shut them down by doing damage. This is so sneaky, though. Fleshhounds do move around. It looks like Worldbeater spots this and is going to attempt a retreat here, falling back behind his lovely Ogre Balls. Looks like the Fleshhounds will get involved in combat, though, and start to hunt down the lead belchers, who are very glassy. They do a lot of damage on approach. They are literal glass cannons, but are very, very susceptible to being actually attacked. Fleshhounds are vibing. Looks like they're looking to fight Ogre Balls, which won't be the greatest fight for them. Minotaurs are fighting Savitas, doing a decent job, and the Furies are bomb rushing the lead belchers and doing some pretty significant damage now. We have more lead belchers popping shots in down rank. There's Fleshhounds all over the battlefield at the moment, and there are bucket ton of Halberds kind of sitting back in deep reserve here on both flanks for Logic, knowing that he needs to push them up eventually. And he's trying to kill the lead belchers first. I think he may just have to take some of the damage and get down and dirty with it, because there's so many lead belchers here. It's going to be impossible to get them all off the battlefield. Furies are overwhelming one unit in the back here, but Savitas pack are nearby support. Lovely play there by Worldbeater. Ticket advantage is currently in favor of Logic, but damage value-wise, Worldbeater is destroying him, and he's also going to be getting a comeback bonus relatively soon, you would think. Fleshhounds continue to hound and harass lead belchers in the back, but Worldbeater is quite happy just to sit back, absorb this damage, dish out horrendous amounts of damage back, and then cap the objectives in the late game. That's certainly going to be his plan here. It looks like Furies are trying their best against lead belchers. Their general is popping shots down at the Halberds, though, doing some really significant damage. And yeah, the Halberds, they might as well have been fighting, because they're going to take significant damage anyway. And now the Ogre's doing a big push on Objective 2, and I don't think Logic has enough forces to hold this back. In the back, we do have Fleshhounds once again shutting down lead belchers. The Ogre Balls, though, will be jumping on top of them and dispatch them relatively easily. We do have, it looks like some Halberds, as well as more Minotaurs being summoned, trying to push around onto the middle objective. We have 2 units of Halberds coming in here. I don't think that's going to be enough to stop the cap. The Chaotist of Khorne isn't able to get there in time either. We also have a Dismember, and look at the damage from the Lead Belchers going down the flank onto these Halberds. Devastating stuff there for sure. The Lead Belchers are being shut down now by the Cultists, though. That is a nice play, though. It looks like they're on guard mode, so they continue to fire down the ranks of the Chaos Warriors doing massive damage. And now that central objective is all Ogre, baby. Cultist and Herald of Khorne are moving up now to try and shut down the Lead Belchers. We also have more Lead Belchers firing from the overground there. Looks like their Flesh Hounds were able to secure the left-hand side. It might actually now be able to re-secure the middle objective, but there's so much pressure coming from the Lead Belchers. This is truly terrifying stuff. A great map for this Ogre Kingdom style of play. Objective 1 is being held by Sabertusk packs still as well. Both Cultists as well as the Lord are going after the Lead Belchers up here on the high ground. Not a bad idea whatsoever, trying to overwhelm them. Halberds in the middle are just getting obliterated. This is looking really rough right now for Logic. It's good news for us, though, because it means we might get an extra battle out of the frame. Minotaurs are pushing in. It looks like we also have Halberds moving up, as well as more Minotaurs into the middle, but you can have as many Minotaurs as you want. As long as these Lead Belchers are singing, it's going to be a bad day. We have some Iron Guts being summoned as well. I feel like World Beater's patient play is starting to pay off. It was very slow initially. I think if Logic had pushed aggressively at the start, on all fronts whilst capping, he'd been in a beautiful position right now. Instead, he finds himself on the back foot. He's just ahead on tickets at the moment. Is going for a cap on objective 2. Lead Belchers are continuously pounding in, though. Being on guard mode has really caused the Khorne forces a lot of problems. Lovely play by World Beater, continue to pop shots. He is starting to run out of Lead Belchers, though, and the Minotaurs again up and running a little bit. We have double Minotaur in the middle here. They may be able to cap back objective 2. We have Halberds in here as well, and finally, the guns are starting to be silenced. 2 Lead Belchers are still remaining in the back, though. And it looks like there could be a big push from the Ogres into the mid from this right-hand flank. Halberds are moving up to support. I don't think the Khorne force is going to have enough time to cap this objective. It looks like the double Cultist and the Herald were able just about to overwhelm the Lead Belchers there. Couldn't even do a cheeky push to objective 1, supported by Furies. And it looks like the Minotaurs, will they cap the objective? It doesn't look likely. Ogre Balls are rushing in. Can they get there in time? We also have Mournfang Cavalry on approach. Objective 2 is going back and forth, but it is indeed decided to be reclaimed by the Ogre Kingdoms. There needs to be some more Khorne forces moving in there. I don't know if they've got any nearby to support. Halberds are guarding the left-hand flank, just keeping objective 3 secure at all times. World Beater is stacking dollar bills. Living the dream, up to 3,400 supplies though, so he can come in with an absolute knockout blow at any moment. Objective 2 is being hotly contested. Minotaurs are forcing their way back here. We also have the leaders being slowed down a little bit here as they attempt to fight dangerously for Objective 2, but there's so many Ogre Kingdom forces on the battlefield, and they have so much extra resources. Now it looks like Lead Belchers are getting bullied by the Furies, which is good to see. It did take a while, unfortunately, and they have reaped a bloody toll for sure on Khorne. Halberds are moving back, it seems, to Objective 3 just to kind of hold that line where possible. We have more Flesh Hounds are being summoned, but Objective 2 is really looking quite rough now for Khorne. They have lost the ticket advantage. Minotaurs have done great work, don't get me wrong. They've done a bucket ton of damage, but I don't think they've got the presence to actually hold the central battle point. Minotaurs are going against Mournfang Cavalry. Trollguts goes down, though. That's going to be helping the Mournfang Cavalry greatly in a fight which probably wouldn't favour them too much. And that central objective is covered in ogre goodness. Been a very good game so far. The Fury play's been pretty top-notch, forcing back the majority of the Lead Belchers, but now they're gone. What can Logic do to get back in this game? He is constantly skint. He has no money really to get infantry in, so he's kind of got to work with what he has. What he has is not much. Going for a big push on Objective 1, I think it's his only play. There's a unit of Sabertusk here. Going to charge on with Flesh Hounds, get some Furies over there, and maybe he can claim that objective and play the objective game rather than trying to go into the grinder. He's got Halberds and Minotaurs in the grinder though, and that may be enough to turn the tide, but double Mournfang Cavalry bouncing around. The damage value as well is massively in World Beater's favour. We're going to see a almost perfectly placed Bone Crusher come in. It was unfortunately a little bit behind the intended target, and the Halberds were able to escape. The Minotaurs saturate on top of Halberds. It is a nightmare for the forces of the Ogres here. They're going to be doing so much damage in the middle, but there's a lot of Ogre forces there, and now we have Lead Belchers moving up to help support, though there is Flesh Hounds moving over to try and apply a bit of pressure. We have Flesh Hounds versus Sabertusks going for Objective 1. It looks like they should be able to dive in here and do some pretty decent damage. They instantly start capping the objective, and they get the charge. So World Beater needs to be careful. He's dominating the battlefield once again like he did in the previous game, but he needs to be sure to actually claim the objectives, because that is where he could lose this. Halberds are just glorious right now. I wish Raptor was here. He would appreciate a good Halberd. as they're swinging their halberds around alongside the Minotaurs. There's a bit of a killing pit in the middle, but if the Khorne forces can keep up this pressure, it's forcing Worldbeater to kind of move all his troops there into the middle, and it is going to allow Logic to get a sneaky back cap on Objective 1. He's summoned some Furies as well who can obviously support, but Objective 3 is now in great risk. Only one unit of Halberds there, so many Ogre forces on the bow. Very close game. Somehow Logic is scrapping into this one. 3,600 tickets to 4,300. Very close stuff. Does he need a triple cap now? I don't think so. At least for him, he better hope not. No, I think he does need a triple cap. Oh dear God, yeah, that is GG's. A lovely scrap back, but there's no way he can get a triple cap here. There's just no way. He's capping Objective 1, but it's going to take him a little while to do it. Very close game, but yeah, is there any chance for a triple cap here? We have Halberds in here and Cultists. A lot of the Ogre Kingdom forces are retreating. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for a triple, but it seems very unlikely. It seems very unlikely. Certainly now the Ogres are moving over to defend Objective 1. Saber-Tuskers are moving in. We have the Ogre Balls moving in as well. Let's see, Objective 2, nah, there's simply no way, surely. Surely, the Cultists and Minotaurs are trying their best in the middle. Damage value's been pulled back a little bit, but Worldbeater is still 16k to 12k. Very impressive work, and we will be going all the way in this best of 3 finals, I believe. Objective 1 is very close to being claimed by Logic, but even if he claims it, it is a little too late here, and it looks like his Flesh Hounds do get in there just in time for a glorious victory from Worldbeater. My God. My God, overwhelmed them, yes. Do Khorne Halberd attack animations work like old Tomb Guard? Like the hybrid between Halberd and Greatman? I'm not sure, actually. I need to check that out. I need to check that out for sure. But well played. What a game. What a game. Excellent battle between Worldbeater and Logic. And it's going all the way, people, in this best of 3 final to the final game. The Lead Belchers, 1,000 value, 1,200 value, 760, 1,100. Lovely play. I honestly think Logic was a little bit too timid at the start of the battle and needed to push forward despite the casualties he would have taken. I like the idea of hiding and trying to like wait it out, but it meant he had so much to do in the mid to late game with less forces being picked apart by the range. Really cool builds by both players though. Awesome stuff. The cavalry was quite clutch as well coming in, but it was really all about just that long range pressure and timing the push in the mid. So both these players playing fantastic so far. It looks like both of them are on pretty damn good form. Have to see how they perform in the final game on Arnheim, which is a very narrow map actually. Lots of room for long range shooting and so on. So interesting to see how these guys adapt. He's in Temple Guard. Ooh, I don't know how they work. I need to check. Temple Guard are so good. I love Temple Guard. I can't wait to play Lizardmen on Domination, man. Oh, I'm just against the other factions. So let's see what their picks and bans are. Let's see what their pick and ban is. So, World Beater. Okay, let's see. So, we can do blind picks. If you both want. Or, would be World to pick. And as he won the last game. Let's see what they say. Will I go blind picks or we'll go one pick, one ban? I just want old factions back, cat, and more open maps. Preferably land battle with cat. Yeah, like land battle just doesn't do it for me at the moment. As far as tournaments go, I still love playing it, but because of like bad experiences so much on like quick battles and stuff before, I'm just like eh. But yeah, if they can have a capture point or something to stop that, that'd be great. Well, these guys are just debating what they should do. Letting them choose between blind picks or one pick, one ban. Let's go blind to make it. They both say they don't mind. Let's go blind. No Nuts will get a mirror match. The 2 times we've done blind picks already on this stream, they've been mirrors. Let's update the scoreboard quickly. As well. The Mighty World Beater is back. He's back, baby. And it is going all the way. It is going all the way. Cool. Are both going to do blind picks? Wait for them to send them over. Have a sip of our drink while we wait as well. That is the good stuff. Yeah, what faction are you looking forward to most, Blackthorn, to bring into the game to play? Which faction are you looking forward to getting to grips with again? Interested to see how the demon factions and Kislev and Cathay and stuff also stack up against the Old World factions. I feel like Old World's going to go good to start with because obviously they got more DLCs and stuff, so more variety in their rosters. But I can see Khorne doing really good as well. We do a faction war when Mortal Empires gets back. Oh, gets added? Yeah, for sure, man. That sounds fun. Let's see what these guys go for. And see old factions crumping all over Zinch. Oh man, some of them are going to do so good. Some of them are going to do so bad. Let's see what these guys are going to go for. Khorne right now, I feel like it's a better and improved old Warlords of Chaos. Yeah, or Norska. So I start on these out with these guys. Cool. I've got World Beaters. Awesome. Wait for logics before we announce them, obviously. So no idea what the Warlords of Chaos rework's going to do, to be honest. Hopefully it's just like fletches them out, gives them some more playstyles and stuff, because they're a little bit dull. Well, not dull. Like, I still enjoy playing Warlords of Chaos, but it was just 6 skirmish cav and then a big infantry push every single time. There was much flexibility to them, and I don't blame players for doing that because it was like the only way to play them. I felt like they were less classy Norska, you know. They did have Kolek though, which is pretty good fun. Cool. So let's wait on Logic to do his pick and ban. Honest pimp, it's just his pick. He's gone to the toilet quickly. Let's check the stream strengths. All good. Seems to be doing fine. Seems to be doing all fine. And I got so much Star Wars music stuck in my head at the moment after watching Kenobi. There will also be a video out after this, by guys, and it's been like a really long stream. I think we started like 3 hours ago, maybe 3.5 hours ago, something like that. It's been a long stream, but there will be more content for glorious people. Come on, Logic. Yeah, Chaos Knights being buffed would be nice. The little war ponies. I like Chaos Knights as well. They're quite a fun thematic unit, but... So, what will it be? Logic is back. Logic doth returneth. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool. Khorne versus Nurgle. Cool. Logic is going to be playing Nurgle. Nurgle. It is. Yeah. Khorne versus Nurgle. Khorne for World Beater, Nurgle for Logic. Now, this map probably heavily favors Khorne, I would say. But I guess it's quite narrow, so if I'm Nurgle, I'm only going for the middle objective and the one on the right. I'm ignoring the high ground completely. I'm doing Obi-Wan Kenobi a disservice. I am not taking high ground anymore, and I'm simply claiming those two objectives. They're right next to each other, so you have to move far. It's a very long, narrow map, though, so the Nurgle reinforcements are going to take a while to get there. What we'll most likely see is Logic bring his slow units in his initial army, and Forsaken as his backup army to actually cap objectives with toads and that kind of stuff. Pretty good fun fight, though. I think Khorne have a pretty decent time dealing with a lot of the Nurgle forces with dual weapons, and do a lot of work here. But likewise, Kugarth and Exalted Grand Clean Ones are a nightmare. But just because you can't kill them as Khorne doesn't mean, you know, you can't out-cap them and cap the objectives and that kind of stuff. Boo, boo, boo. Oh, they're both aware of what the match is. Let's get ready to party. Get ready. Oh, let's do a poll quickly. Who you guys think's gonna win? And that poll, so you guys thought Khorne was going to win the last one. You thought your boy Logic was going to come through. He did unfortunately falter. So, the final one. Who will win? Who will win our epic final? Shall it be the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Logic, the challenger today? Or will it be World Beater, who is the current champion of, I guess, Rubber Duck streamed tournaments right now? Ooh, let's pop that up so you guys can vote there on who you think is going to be victor. So both players are still contemplating, trying to create some plans. Interested to see who you guys think will win. I think both players have played relatively evenly so far. Two good games. Game 1 was a lot closer than Game 2, though, I think. So if I had to give an edge, it'd be to World Beater. But Logic's done that pretty damn good as well. Let's see what they're going for so far. My god, it's beautiful. It is disgusting and beautiful. This, likewise, is also disgusting and beautiful. This is exactly what I expected as well. Oh man, Skull Crushers are so cool. These builds are like good fun so far. I'll let them carry on debating what they're going to do. Yeah, just a friendly tournament today. We'll probably do some more competitive tournaments. Maybe bring back Death Before Dishonor. I'm really waiting for myself to be recovered so I can actually sit down and cast these, because they're quite painful to do over, unfortunately. Like a 3-hour stream like now is a bit too much, to be honest, because I'm having to cast on my knees and it's just killing. Like a little bit. So we're probably bringing Death Before Dishonor. I should be recovered by like Immortal Empires, I'd think. So we might do those at the same time to start bringing back like the competitive tournaments. I will have plenty of live streams in the future as well. Definitely looking forward to doing a Dawn of War 1 alongside Mr. Logic himself. And hopefully a couple of you guys, if anyone has the old school game. Dawn of War was such a classic back in the day, man. It was so badass. Nurgle versus Khorne. DBD versus DBD. Gondor versus Rohan. The old classic. See who comes out on. Need to check Discord, make sure they got no questions. Looks like they're all good at the moment. Double check stream. Yeah, looks fine. Perfect. Cool. Let's hop back in. You guys are enjoying the stream, by the way. There's a little bit of downtime and you got a bit of spare time. Feel free to like and subscribe and all that good standard YouTube stuff. The links down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. And yeah, load of links to membership as well down below and stuff, I think. Is there more Empires in Q3? Like 3 more months? Would it be 3 more months? I don't know, possibly. Probably. But I mean, I've already been recovering for 3 and a bit months now, so taking its time. But I'm looking forward to being back to being able to actually do exercise and sit down and cast and that kind of stuff. All the sort of players are waiting on me, getting distracted by chat there. Logic versus World Beater, the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. This is the ultimate showdown. Triple Chungus, my god. This is a Chad build by Logic. Those cavalry units are going to rip them up, though. They're going to rip them up. I mean, he can probably get some, like, spells down and stuff. This is a bold build from Logic, it must be said. There's, like, 0 capture weight in his open army, so he's going to have, like, a load of Toads and Forsaken, I assume. But I feel like he's going to really struggle to cap objectives there. I guess he gets the 3 Chunguses on Objective 1, and then just plays Objective 1 at Objective 2 game. I think he just goes for both of those. Here we are. Look at this build. It's so glorious. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. It is triple Chungus. Now, on land battles, this build will be completely viable and good. Domination, I have my doubts this is going to work. I don't know. Triple Great Unclean 1. Exalted Great Unclean 1 of Nurgle as well. These guys, of course, now have bounce abilities. And Plague Bearers of Nurgle and Occultist. Yeah, he's definitely going to bomb rush Objective 1 and then try and move out to number 2, I think. Maybe he'll do a sneaky play 3, but it seems unlikely. As for the Forces of Khorne, a bit more of a versatile build, I suppose. The Exalted Bloodletters up on the right. We have a double Skull Crushers of Khorne. One on either flank, one which is the General. And then a load of Bloodletters in the middle. Just going for full damage output. Trying to rip and tear. Tumor Corruption will do big work on these guys, though. And the Mortis Engine is going to be a problem, but this is so much damage output. With the Hellforged Host in the center, that's going to be some gnarly stuff, for sure. Gnarly stuff. So who's your money on now you've seen the builds? I love the idea of the Triple Chungus, but I don't see it working. I don't know. I think it's too much in Domination. I think in land battles, this would be a fair fight. Ways to spread out and cap objectives and get capture weight, it's going to be real rough. I'll have to see though, maybe I'll be proven wrong. I've been proven wrong before, multiple times, by multiple players. So Logic has a bucket ton of units in reserve though, yes, 17 army overall. Only 5 on the battlefield, so he's got room for more troops to come on. And the Triple Chungus marches to war. It marches. I don't know if I'd even fight this as the Khorne player, like, just dart around it for now. And if you can surround it with Skull Crushers saturated on Bloodletters, though, you should do a decent number, I'd assume. Yeah, 2 units will go up to cap Objective 3. Everything, oh, and plus the Skull Crushers, so 3 units on Objective 3. Everything else going down the gauntlet to the middle. Probably going to taunt Logic's Nurgle army, I think. And don't fully engage with it, just stand around, be a pain in the butt, go cap the top objective, then come down and fight as one, is what I assume is going to happen here. But who knows? Looks like we do have an early summon by Nurgle. It's going to be a second Cult to come to battlefield. He's on foot though, so we've got a little bit of a trek to catch up with the homies. Looks like Khorne has summoned in a unit of Spawn, not a bad idea whatsoever. Pin the Chunguses in place and kind of rip and tear them apart with your infantry. But look at the march. It's like the Great Mimikai arriving at Pelennor Fields in Lord of the Rings. Just these beautiful beasts of destruction, just drooling at the mouth. And I love the fact he laughs through his belly as they move up. What's most likely going to happen here is we're going to see like one Exiled Grey and Clean one on the middle objective, and then both the Grey and Clean ones go to objective 2, or maybe one, Grey and Clean on the middle and then 2 to the other one, because you can try and stick together, but it's not physically going to be possible here. With having to bounce around the map. The Saint Cultist is nearly here. Those summons can be quite useful, I guess, on the Bloodletters. They take a lot of damage there. And it looks like Logic is stacking some dollar bills right now. Maybe trying to summon a big unit or 2. We have the Bloodletters as well as the Skull Crushers moving up this flank alongside the Hellforged Host. Oh no, they're not. They're just Exiled Bloodletters. They're easy to cap Objective 3 and then swoop down onto Objective 1. Objective 1 looks very secure right now in the hands of Nurgle. But obviously they're going to have to push out and attempt to do battle with number 2. Honestly, if the Triple Chungus pushes into Spawn and ignores objectives, I think they can hold up enough of the Khorne that it waves Plague Bearers will eventually overwhelm. The problem with that is the opponent will just, I feel like, force move past these guys. Because you can summon here, or you can summon here. So, like, there's no way for the 3 Grand Clean ones to cover this much distance. I like the idea. On Battle of Itzer, it may work as well. So we get the Pestering Stooges being summoned, Regiment Renowned Exalted Plague Bearers. They'll probably make a push alongside some of the big boys into this big fight on Objective 2, but it looks like World Beater may not give Logic the chance to bring his units together. He's pushing forward with the Skull Crushers. I like this play quite a bit. There's a big distance between the back and the forefront for Nurgle here, and he's going to use his cavalry to try and overwhelm the reinforcements, which is not a bad play whatsoever. He just needs to kind of, bodyguard those units up there. Objective number 3 is going to be capped soon by World Beater, though he's currently just vibing, it seems, at the top. And it seems like the big chunksters are now getting down and dirty. The problem for them is they're getting blocked in by Spawn of Khorne, and Spawn are unbreakable, so you're sure you're going to kill them. It looks like Miasma Pestilence goes down on them as well. You will kill them, but is it going to be very good for you? I don't think so. Heavy Hobbities are active, as well as Festering Stooges like that. The Heavy Hobbities come in to fend off the pesky Skull Crushers a little bit. Middle objective, of course, will be falling in the hands of Nurgle in the early days. Bloodletters, I will be able to chew through Plague Bearers, but of course we have the summons of the cultists to take into consideration, and the Spawn are getting slapped up right now. So yeah, the Chill Chunkers will break them down and devour their souls, but more Spawn are being moved in, and I think overall World Beater's going to be a happier man about this. Simply constantly pinning the free Chunkers with unbreakable troops, and you can win the rest of the battle. Objective 1 is now being claimed, it would seem, by the forces of logic. Only just about, though. Plague Bearers have been summoned to deal with Bloodletters. A stream of corruption goes down, doing decent damage to the Bloodletters. They're now being surrounded by Plague Bearers as well. Festering Stooges and Heavy Hobby Toads are looking to apply pressure to Objective 2. There's double cavalry, though, moving over here. Some nice shots coming in by the Festering Stooges, but the Skull Crushers are able to make it into combat relatively effectively there. More Heavy Hobbies are coming in, but Skull Crushers do have bonus versus large now. Maybe saturating in with the Festering Stooges, it would be an okay fight. But I really do think that, the Skull Crushers will get a pretty decent engagement there. It looks like more Spawn have been summoned in. It looks like one unit is dead. The second unit is moving in. Would love to see the Grand Klingon split up, though. We saw this earlier on. I think it was with Double Giants from Dragonborn's play, where he kept them together. And they're unkillable for sure, but they can't get on objectives. So one holding Objective 1, or two on Objective 1, and one going to Objective 2, I think, is the answer here and the way forward. It looks like we do get a Curse of Slug go down on the Skull Crushers, trying to stop their escape. I don't think they want to escape, though. They want to kill Rend and Main. We also have Bloodletters moving up to engage in this fight, drag down the Plague Toads and overwhelm them. Seems like we have some more Forsaken being summoned in here by the force of Logic and his Nurgle. He could push Objective 3, but there is a dual weapon unit moving up to fight back and hold that objective, and I think that's going to be a relatively decent play. It's not going to be easy to take that away for sure. Spawn, the second unit, have just about been finished off, and yet again they're going to jump at the Great Unclean Ones and just surround them, bog them in, and stop them from being useful on the battlefield at all, which is a really lovely, top-quality tournament play there by World Beater. More Toads are hopping back, Forsaken hopping back as well. Toads are trying their best, but yeah, the Skull Crushers are running rampant in the back line. Only one Grand Klingon has managed to make it through to Objective 2. This means he's going to be fighting isolated, and now the Skull Crushers can come and surround him, though there are Forsaken on the warpath looking to support him. The Exiled Bloodletters and the basic Bloodletters are getting down and dirty. The Cultist of Nurgle is about to get his head taken from his shoulders as the Exalted ones get in there and do some decent work. And the middle objective, we make an early choke cap here for Khorne, because all the value in the Nurgle armies in those three Chunguses, and they can't get objectives. It looks like Objective 2 is a hotly contested fight. Hellforged hosts are currently not too happy at being poisoned right here. We do also have Skull Crushers moving in. Miasma Pestilence goes down on them. The second big boys floating in with the Forsaken, coming over to try and fight for this objective. And it looks like maybe, I've got the hiccups now, they might better come over. Thank you for whoever deleted the bots there. And Objective 2 is now starting to fall in favour of Nurgle. They have lost Objective 3. Again, the big Grand Klingon ones have to be fighting on objectives. But they've been caught out in no man's land for a good kind of like 6 minutes now, realistically, fighting these Spawn, and that's been quite problematic. But Objective 2 starting to go Nurgle favour. Objective 1 also starting to go Nurgle favour. They need them quickly, though. They are currently being triple caps. They will be starting to get a bit of a comeback bonus, though. Both forces are stacking a decent chunk of money. More Spawn are being summoned into the action. Looks like we are getting a double Forsaken, looking to make a big push in the mid. There are Skull Crushers roving at the back lines, though. Lovely play there, I must say, by World Beater trying to stop and cut off those reinforcements at the kind of source. So it looks like Double Grand Klingon was able to capture Objective 2. We're probably going to see one left behind there, and I think one move over to Objective 1, I would assume. Now the Exiled Grand Klingon is fighting alone and isolated up against Skull Crushers. More Skull Crushers going in for that assassination attempt. Forsaken are on the way. It's a very long map, though, and it can be hard for Nurgle to get into position, but to be honest, this build's got a lot of like Forsaken and stuff, so they're relatively speedy. Objective 2 looks really secure right now. It looks like we're going to get a big fat stream of corruption once again go down on the Exiled Bloodletters, but it is looking rough for our boy Logic right here. Exiled Great Unclean One is fighting, but he's alone and surrounded. Forsaken are moving to engage with the enemy, and the cultists, they're holding. Forsaken are moving back as well, trying to get to grips with the Bloodletters, leaving the Great Unclean Ones to hold objective 2. It's going relatively well. Looks like the big boy, though, is going to cast a heal on himself, Fleshy Abundance, that may keep him alive. But double Skull Crushers in the mix. It's going to be really tough to get him out of a sticky situation. It's not often you see the Exalted Great Unclean One go down like this. Hasn't managed to get much value. He's been finding Spawn mainly. I mean, still got just shy of 3k value right now. Forsaken are going to push in. They've been intercepted by Exalted Bloodletters, though, and they're a perfect counter to Forsaken. And it looks like it is, looking pretty bad in the middle there for Nurgle. We do have Plague Toads on arrival, though. A Stream of Corruption is going to go down as well, doing pretty good damage to the Skull Crushers. And can Forsaken save the Exalted Great Unclean One? It doesn't look likely. Dual weapons are moving down to the middle objective, leaving objective 3 nice and open there for the first of Nurgle to try to hop on top of. Back-to-back Great Unclean Ones trying to fight for their lives right now, looking very beat up and wounded. They're holding objective 3, but I don't know realistically how much longer they can do that. Plague Toads are hopping in. The Skull Crushers have been inspirational so far. These Skull Crushers have been insane. Getting 2.4k value on one unit. The other unit has got, oh, that might be the same unit. 2.4k and 2.8k, yeah. 2.4 and 2.8. They've been such a good counter to basically everything Logic brought today. There's a Gambit which did not pay off with the Triple Chungus. He's about to be triple capped as well. Is there enough time to get back into this? I mean, neither player is stacking that many resources. They're sending everything into the grinder, and it does look like Nurgle are kind of getting a beat back here. Plague Toads are hopping towards the objectives. We have another cultist being summoned in as well. Objective 2 is starting to go down here, and the dual weapons are now moving in. 3 dual weapons. My god, that is disgusting. That's going to be a real kind of puncture to the heart of, like, Logic right there, I think. Because, though, Logic's like, oh, maybe I can get a chance to get back in this and start capping this middle objective. He looks up, and there's 3 units of heavily armored warriors moving towards him. I feel like this game came down to a lot of who was going to win the initial engagement. Both these factions could be relatively slow in their infantry. To get them up to these objectives can be quite tricky. And the dual weapons now moving in the late game can be done because he won the early game. Whereas Nurgle can't bring their big slow boys onto the battlefield to cap the objective. And this looks honestly all over right now. I don't see a way back in this for Logic. We've got Plague Bearers. We have a Cultist moving forward. Objective 2 has now been lost, though. It looks like Nurgle are starting to take it back a little bit. But it is the dreaded triple cap. 4,150 tickets to 1,615. Nurgle will need to triple cap and triple cap fast. Now, the sneaky 007 Nurglings high-fiving each other and, chatting up with the ladies. I don't know what else James Bond really does. I guess doesn't ever die. That's that movie? No, it was a close movie to that title anyway. They are going for objective 3. Looks like Wellbeater forgot about, Bloodletters, so there will be a single cap here. Going for the double cap is now Logic, and pushing hard with Plague Bearers and the Cultist Nurgle for the middle objective. Unfortunately, this unit is a summon, so they will not be able to capture the objective. And how on earth is Nurgle going for this objective still? Oh, I guess most of the Corn Forces aren't in there. So there's an attempted double cap going on, but with only 4,760 tickets to 1,615, it doesn't look likely. It looks like the push for number 2 did unfortunately go down. Logic got a bit constipated going for that objective. And objective 3 shall be his, maybe, although it will only be a kind of a trophy prize pit in the end there. They smell bread in the water, they do indeed. Nice game there, well played to both these lads. Massive well done to the mighty World Beater, who was today's tournament winner. Back-to-back tournaments he has won. He was pushed all the way today. Dragonborn gave him some fantastic games. Those games could have gone either way, and likewise Logic here putting on a fantastic performance, wiping off that rust and getting back in the action. Lovely game by him. The Great Unclean One, 3.8k value, 1,000 and 1,000 on the big boys. I think in Land Bowser's build will go much better, but the mobility of those Skull Crushers, 3,000 value, 2,800 value, 2,500 on the Hellforge, 2k on the basic unit of Exile Bloodletters, 1.2 on the other Bloodletters. Man, this was just an absolute death pit. And the spawn was so smart, 1.6k, 1.2k, and despite the fact they weren't able to kill the big targets, they wounded them and injured them, and then they could just surround the big boys. And because they go in the open for so long, Logic lost the middle objectives. He's on the back foot, and you never want to be on the back foot as Nurgle. Beautiful play by both these players. Shout out to Logic, shout out to World Beater. Fantastic all round. Massive shout out to World Beater for winning, and Logic is also a YouTuber. If you want to check him out, he does Total War Warhammer content similar to my own, so feel free to find him at logic_EU. Thank you, Duck, for the entertainment. No worries. Hope you enjoyed. It was really good fun to be back casting a good old tournament. Congrats, World Beater. That was a great series. All round. I think all of the best of threes were really good fun. Yeah, World Beater won both the land and dom battles. And that's probably going to be it for our invitationals for a while. We're going to open up to do some more larger tournaments in the future. Open up as many people as possible. GG, well played, World Beater and Logic. A great cast in Rubber Duck War. Thanks for the great tournament. No worries, man. I'm glad you appreciated and joined. And yeah, before you guys go, one, thank you for tuning in and watching. It's been an absolute blast. I'm going to now upload a video. It's very late in the day, so I probably shouldn't upload a video now, but screw it. If you guys want to see some more glorious action, in fact, another DBD member in action as well, I am about to put a video live. I will drop a link to you guys. It is Double Giant is kind of good. A interesting title for sure. You'll have to hop in and see what that's all about. So that's going to be Palpatine in a Domination game, O Kingdoms versus Slaanesh. So I'll find the link for you guys quickly. Hey guys! Oh god, I can hear my own voice. Eternal Screams. Eternal Screams. And I will drop a link. Boop. So there you go. There's a link to that video if you want to go check it out. But massive thank you guys. Does this mean I get to rule? And thanks to games not yet bud. Mod for the mods, blood for the warriors. Yeah, I'm afraid Blackthorn is almost in godhood at this point. In his overwhelming power. He's not quite as powerful as the Evermod Wicked, but he's on his way actually. I must admit, Blackthorn is on the rise. So guys, hope you enjoyed that. There's a link there if you want to, if you're, your appetite is not sated yet, you want to see some more glorious Warhammer content. And yeah, apart from that, thank you guys for tuning in. Massive shout out to everyone who played, and well played to World Beater. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.